Hey everybody, it's Corey, joined here with Roberto and Rob,
Hey, everybody.
and
Hey, everybody.
we are about to watch what many are calling the most controversial movie of 2020 so far. Uh, Rob and I are completely in the dark about it. We don't know anything other than it has to deal with dancers. That's
And
about
then all the house frows in America are
Jesus
super
Christ.
upset about it.
and people who are talking about it. So we'll delve into that as we go, I'm sure. Roberto has done a little bit of reading about the controversy, I guess.
Yeah, okay. So basically, if you guys are not aware of what this movie is or why it's controversial, just to kind of just to kind of keep it short to kind of get you on the loop. So Cuties is actually a French film, Mignonnes. It's actually what it's called in French, directed by Mona de Curé. I think that's how it's pronounced. But basically, this is a film about an 11-year-old Islamic girl who moves to Paris and whose basically whole culture and family tell her to, you have to be like subtle and, dress all covered up and whatnot. But eventually, she meets this group of young dancers who are trying to get popular on social media, and she starts, delving into that side of things. But the whole controversy basically started because people were saying that this movie over sexualizes the characters. What? It's coming from the tab from the yeah, I noticed that too. It's repeating everything we're saying. But yeah, so basically, people were saying that this film was inappropriate. Some even called it child pornography, and there was a whole thing that started with hashtag cancel Netflix. As a matter of fact, Netflix actually saw a spike on people canceling their subscriptions literally the day after the movie was released on Netflix. There was also a big controversy with the poster that they had, which they eventually changed into something, I guess, a little more appropriate. But even the director, according to the stuff that I read, even the director was on the dark. Like at one point, she just started getting messages and death threats at some point because they were saying that she was basically, doing child pornography, which is definitely not the case. A lot of actors, actually, including Tessa Thompson, has been, vocal about what the movie actually is and how bad people are actually taking it. And
All right. Well, let's leave it there because
okay,
there's plenty of this we can talk about during the course of the movie while we're watching it.
And then
So,
we're gonna have a discussion about the movie
Yeah.
afterwards.
okay,
So,
all right.
let's not get too deep here.
Yeah.
Okay, dips. Okay.
Are we ready to start this thing?
We are about ready to go. So yes, if you are joining us, just as a note, you can wherever you are watching, whether it's on Periscope, Twitch, on Facebook, or on YouTube, you can join our watch party on Netflix. You need to download the Chrome extension Netflix Party. And when you click the link that is on wherever you're watching, you'll actually join us right where we're watching in the movie, so you can keep up with the commentary right there.
I don't
So
think they actually have to download the extension, do they?
I,
Don't
I
they just go on the
apparently-
link?
No, apparently I did
Oh, okay,
because
well.
it didn't work otherwise. So that's a way to guarantee. But without further ado, Mignonnes Cuties on Netflix. Hmm. So it is a French film, just so everyone is aware. And one of the things and I'm going to use the term Hausfraus a lot because I think that there are a lot of people in America who have nothing better to do than to be concerned about stuff that ain't concerning to them. And I guess by that, what I mean is that I have discussion with someone who said, "Why would they name it Cuties? That's just like reaching out to all of the perverts and the child molesters." And I was like, "It's called Mignonnes in France, and the exact translation of Mignonnes is Cuties. So it's just named what it is named, as you can see if you're watching along with us. Mignonnes. Bien au bien. How do you say bien au bien? I can't hear you. Your mic's off.
Bien ou bien.
Ah, there you go. Bien ou bien. All right, now I'll be quiet so we can watch a bit of the movie.
Are the subtitles on? Because I don't think your guys' French is that good.
Yes, the subtitles are on.
Okay.
Yes, Corey has now muted the movie for us, so we're getting to enjoy it in silence with just the what do you call it? Captions? Yeah.
Yep. was working before.
So I don't know what the name of the girl is. But
Amy.
Amy. Okay, Amy. And then Ismail is her little brother.
Yeah.
So why would someone who is North African and black move to Paris, France, Roberto?
But I don't know.
Oh, well. So
Why does
as
anybody move to Paris? I mean, why does it have to be?
well, because the French actually have a very strong influence in North Africa. In the very much pre and then post World War II era, they actually had a colony in North Africa called Algeria, and a lot of Algerians had moved in the post-war period to Paris because they felt as though they were French, even though they were colonists and not considered French by all French people. And everyone kind of knows what the French Foreign Legion is. And the French Foreign Legion was actually the Algerian Corps. They would go and serve in Algeria.
All right, so here we're kind of getting a glimpse of the family's culture.
Yeah, so as a note, we are also going to, from time to time, transition in so that you can actually see what it is that we're watching. But obviously, that's the movie. But you're going to be stuck with us for a lot of the time. So that's us. But if you want the sound, again, you have to join the Netflix watch party. That's available at the link that you can find wherever it is you're watching. Also, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe at O The Anthem on all your social networks. And they are speaking French, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So the likelihood is that they're in Algeria right now, right? Because this is before they've moved.
Maybe. All I saw is that they were muscling Senegalese.
Oh, so man, it could be Senegal. Yeah, French is a weird language it's a major language that is spoken in a lot of the world, but it's not the primary language in very many countries, except for France and French Equatorial Guinea.
Did you just turn him off?
No,
Oh.
I unmuted me.
I think they're already in Paris here.
Don't
though.
you worry about the technical things that are going on behind the scenes here.
Yeah. By the way, everybody who's watching at home can see how much equipment we have going on here. I suggest the very simple idea of live
Of just
streaming.
putting something on the thing and
This is where we end up. Oh yeah, so they're definitely in France then. They're already in Paris.
Switch over.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, they're clearly already in Paris in this scene. Is she ironing her hair?
Yes, she is. All right, so here we're kind of getting a first glimpse of.
French culture in the eyes of a Muslim girl from North Africa.
Well, obviously this is very new to her.
Is this supposed to be modern day too? Like
Yep.
It's 2019, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a harsh enough light to cast a shadow on the wall, but it's not enough to blast her face.
Very nice. Yeah. This makes me think of Florida Project as well, where like these young actors are very talented, and in that scene right there, I wouldn't know, for instance, that they were acting. It just looked like a brother
So-
or sister.
Something tells me this is based more on. There's probably some more real people in this sort of thing, because that's usually how it goes with a lot of foreign films. Is there's more of a installation of real people to create sort of the feeling of a reality that we're watching.
Did she just take the doorknob off the door when she walked away?
I didn't see.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's too busy with his hose on
I'm
his
checking
phone.
on people on social media here
Mhm.
that are watching with us.
So obviously that wasn't her room, but I guess she took the doorknob off the little boy's room.
Maybe that's another privacy thing where it's like you don't get to lock the door in your room.
See now, so that makes me think that maybe that makes me
Oh
think that
yeah, I
there's
remember
a man,
seeing this on the trailer.
a man around her. Oh no, girl, no, don't do that. That don't. Oh, it works for white girls. It don't work for everybody. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! No bueno.
You should also know how to do that before you try.
Yeah. I feel like that little. This little girl knows what she's doing when she's gonna iron her hair. The other girl does not. What in the heck?
Mob, what is it? Flash mob. Mob flash.
Flash mob? It's like a reverse flash mob, though, right? It's like instead of dancing, they freeze.
Well, that's how it starts.
That's like those videos where
Everyone stops and you like sort of go around.
them. Yeah, and it looks like they're frozen. There was a really good one done recently at a pool where there was somebody actually like, getting pushed in the pool, and it was in the middle of that. It was really good.
You can't do that. Well, clearly she is.
All right. So
Can't fight City Hall here.
I think right away we're seeing the big gap in, what she perceives as the right way to do things or to dress versus.
I also have initial concerns that all the Hausfraus may be justified in their thoughts about the portrayals of little girls in this.
See, but one of the things that a lot of people were also talking about online is that this is a portrayal of our current generation and how this is such a real thing, like girls out there are actually dressing up a little like that, and the whole thing is they're trying to get popular on social media, which is a very real thing that we're living in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some things to say about that in our discussion portion. But for those of you who are watching along with us, you'll see that like she just was with her mother, and they washed their face, they washed their hands, they washed their feet. They were just about to go pray, and I think we skipped the prayer portion and went directly to her like dancing, which is obviously something she's not supposed to be doing.
It's easier to sneak under the bed than it is to just undo the shirt.
Maybe she knotted it too tight.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was she was having a hard time trying to undo it.
But I mean, also, so I know this is a cultural thing that a lot of people in America don't get. But if you see somebody washing their hands and their feet in a sink, a lot of people are like, gross. Why are you doing that? But it's because they're about to go pray. Because in order to pray properly, you have to wash your face, your hands, your feet, and then go find somewhere to face east with a prayer rug. Oh, what is going on? I don't know. Were they about to? Were they about to
No.
fight, or was something else going on there?
No, what did the auntie say? Didn't she tell her she needs to find a man too?
I think so. Like stand up and be a real woman.
Or she might be calling the ex-husband.
Or the husband, I guess. Probably. Because I doubt they got divorced. So Amy is under the bed when she finds out that her father, who I assume is still back in Senegal,
Yeah,
has
that's what
taken
they
a
say.
second wife, which is culturally allowed in some sects of Islam. And obviously, her mom is very upset about that.
Well, it seems like she didn't. She assumed her father was probably going to come or something like
Yeah,
that. You know, like
yeah.
that. They're
And now she's like slapping herself to try and like not be upset about it. Oi.
So from the get-go, we can see how much interest this just to see them for her is just like such a new thing that like every time she sees them, it's just like whoa, like in awe.
like, who are these people? I need to know. I want to be friends with them. I want to know them. That sort of.
Yeah.
Dragging it by the wrong side. Presence from your father too, just to further the "there's nothing wrong about this situation" thing going on here.
Oh damn, dude, you just missed her stealing a phone.
be in the contacts. The batteries might not have charged enough.
Why would anyone unplug them?
So if you were watching along with us on Facebook, you may not have video anymore. And if you do, go ahead and move on over to YouTube or Twitch. Both of those are / O The Anthem. We filed a dispute with Facebook about the video, so it may be back later, but go watch somewhere else. I feel like this is more commentary about like kids being bullies than it is about anything else. Just
Well, so far, I mean,
Yeah. they've treated her really horribly. Just because she's from, I mean, this might as well be America, honestly. Just the bullying.
To be fair, though, I mean, I think there's a part of she wants to be associated with them still. She's still fascinated because she stole the phone, which seems like the type of thing she'd only be doing if she was trying to be a different person than who she is right now.
Yeah. Kids without parental supervision are trouble. Where are all the parents?
Working, bro.
And since when can a girl with glasses like that become a popular girl? Is there something I'm unaware
Jesus
of?
Christ, bro.
Oh. Okay, so she just spit on her finger, put
Yep.
some powder on, and now she's putting it on the girl's head.
That'll fix it.
That's how you get corona.
Yeah, the things we used to be able to do to each other when there wasn't any kind of corona problems. Here, let me spit on my finger and put it on your face.
Salute. What does that mean? That means goodbye, right?
Basically.
It said so long, but I was going to say, I think it's goodbye. Salute. Salute.
It's sort of like till I see you again.
Oh, she found herself a little bracelet. Her little friend left a bracelet. That's going to be hers now. Now
She don't even got to steal it. She just hold on to it.
First step to hoehood.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm the voice of the House Frows of America right now.
I thought your whole point was that you were against the house rouse.
I am. I am being ironic in my defense of the House Frows.
Okay.
But how to steal a phone just to download Instagram? That is something.
Well, I imagine that there's no allowance of internet or anything like that to go on in this house. So
Definitely not. Yep. Oh, and here we go.
First selfie, man.
The first selfie ever. Oh, okay. And now she's using an app that will put makeup on her face and make her look older.
Which, by the way, it's a very real thing.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, people we are very familiar with will not let you post a picture unless they run it through the Facetune app. Facetune app, which is available on the App Store for $9.99.
Jesus.
Yeah, imagine,
Really?
Imagine paying $10 a month to
Seriously though, is
a
that
month.
a month. Yes,
Oy.
Oh no.
to be able to Facetune your pictures, so that you look.
Get Photoshop for
Younger.
less than that.
Photoshop's hard. Facetune just does the hard work for you. Makes you look younger.
Apple, it just works.
Tucks in the. No, you can get it on the Google Play Store too. Yeah. Do you remember being like 12 and just not understanding anything?
Not knowing anything about how
Just-
anything works.
Just. Ay, ay, ay. Also, clearly pre-corona, she didn't wash her hands after going to the bathroom. Oh, there he is, the cute boy. Mm. I have never understood this nonsense.
Wait, what?
Oh God. Is she
Okay.
okay? So they are daring her to go into the boys' room with her phone and take a picture of him.
And she's
Bean.
Oh Lord. And they rolled out
Yeah,
on
they're
her.
out.
Oh man.
This is the principal right here.
Yep. Oh no, no,
Oh,
that's
no.
the. $58.
Wait a minute. Is she about to lock?
Oh, she's locking him in the bathroom. Oh, come
Oh.
on. Rude. But to be fair, this is what siblings do to each other. I locked my sister out of the house for an entire day while my parents were out of town. She chased me around with a knife.
I do think that, like some of people, I don't know how bad this gets. So this is obviously very early on,
Yeah.
but I imagine that, like there's some people who are watching her like sneak into the boys' room to try and get a video of the guy peeing.
Yeah.
With the idea that like, oh, I never did anything stupid when I was a kid, or I never thought about boys when I was a kid. Like, I'm sure this is getting worse, and I'm sure there's a reason why people are upset, but
No, there's absolutely not. Everyone's just a housefrau. But they're 100%. They are upset about
So-
stuff like that.
That's interesting. So they don't know whose room this is. Like apparently somebody really made up this room, but it's no one's. It's not the mom's. So this room obviously has to belong to someone.
it's the nicest room too. Nicest room by a lot.
Unless the father sent them ahead, and now the second wife and he are going to come.
Oh,
stay
that
in
might
this
be
room.
it. Well, she's making friends now. That's nice.
Yeah, so now they're eating gummy bears and being very friendly. That's super nice. All kids are weird. Kids today are especially weird.
To be fair, some adults are kind of weird.
Yeah, that's also true.
thug.
Regard.
Regarde.
Okay, so they're watching a video of a professional dance troupe,
Yep.
which obviously looks bad because they're wearing like Daisy Dukes and shirt. But this is a professional dance group.
Yeah. What's your point?
I mean, again, people are going to get upset about like with the dancing that these girls are doing, but this is their job. They're oh, maybe not that last bit. Still, it's Europe. It's different rules. Sweetie Swags.
Did she said they can beat him if they rehearse? Oh God.
Oh no. Oh, so they just realized water's coming in from somewhere. And brother's in the tub. That's probably not good. Girl, that is not your shade. Oh Lord.
I am wondering what the mother is going to think of all the nonsense that is. There's no way you're covering up the water damage.
Oh. She's wearing a crop top. They're climbing in somewhere
She's
dangerous.
wearing the little brother's old
Little
shirt.
Yeah. Rude. Toilet time. I do like that they're she's like trying to bring her in the friends group or whatever. Girls are terrible to each other.
Everyone's terrible to each other.
Oh,
Don't
that's
act like boys are different.
I don't. I mean,
All right, and so here are the girls. They're trying to mimic the Sweetie Swags or whatever. They are really body positive though. Like they don't really care that they all look different and are different.
sure.
What? You've never been the fat kid in your friends group, clearly.
I know what it's like.
And of course, the white girl is the laziest one of all of them. No dancing, just strutting. Have we come full circle back around to where we're dancing on cardboard boxes?
I guess.
I guess if it's in a dirty, abandoned area.
Yeah. Oh, look. Our little friends, they're warming up. Yeah. I think my new nickname for Roberto is going to be Homeless. All right, Homeless.
Wait, what?
That's going to be my new name for you. Homeless. All right, Homeless.
I dress better than you do.
Maybe it should be Corey with his homeless hair. Doesn't get haircuts or anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, hey, that is way too wide of a selfie to. There's no way they. That's how the picture came out.
So I guess she's teaching herself how to dance. So.
Yeah.
I really like the sound design in this of how it feels like you can't ever get away from all the babies crying and noise in the building and all that sort of stuff. It's just like that baby's 8 apartments away and you're still hearing it go off.
Some of us have lived that life.
Right, so now we're back to
Yeah.
her reality.
Some of us had gold toilets and stuff. Some of us grew up in real reality.
Nobody. Was
Oh, and now she covered her face as if she was being pious, but instead she's watching booty shake videos on YouTube.
See, and y'all keep telling me that got a big booty's not. Jesus.
Wait, no. Continue that thought. What were we telling you?
You keep telling me that videos like that, like freaking got a big booty, don't affect today's youth.
Well, and she's immediately watching every woman walk by who has some form of boot, like you
Yep,
know, like
that's
the
what I'm
booty is
saying.
accentuated as they're walking by.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
this is more about a when you're younger than you're developed.
Yes.
You start thinking to yourself like, you know, like, oh, why can't I have breasts? Why can't I have a booty and stuff like that? She's seeing all these adults walk by and she's just like, why can't it be me?
Yeah,
why
but
13-year-olds?
Because other girls are
plastic?
picking on me
See,
for it.
but I feel like every, if not most, girls go through that in their lives. But at the same time, when they're watching videos like that, and they're like, "Oh, I don't only. It's not just that I want to have a booty. I want to have a booty like J-Lo." You know.
Well, yeah, I mean, like there's obviously like the constant pursuit of perfection,
sure.
especially amongst like the younger generation right now who have all the internet to look upon that we didn't like. Thank God when I was 13, I wasn't dealing with all the stuff that 13-year-olds are dealing with now in terms of.
For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna. Don't worry, I'll start my nihilist videos at some point, and then we'll get a little bit of like, none of this matters. It's all pointless.
Oh.
Oh, well, we missed it. She was talking to her dad, and she threw the phone out the window.
Damn.
But remember, because she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And her mom doesn't know that she knows. So. But look, why can't we take from this a good example that she's doing her homework? She's a good student, even though she's watching the booty shake videos.
That's one way to do it.
That's good. Okay, and here's my point. So they're seeing an ad for a dance competition. These are real, legitimate dance competitions. It's urban dancing, street dance, whatever you want to call it. And the Cuties are the name of one of the dance troupes. Their dance troupe, right?
Yeah.
Oi, but here come the older boys. Always trying to be older. I know my multiplication tables.
I'm gonna try that next time I forget like ID for cigarettes. I'll be like, I know my multiplication tables. It's just like, all right, I guess I can give you cigarettes then.
Yeah. You want to blame somebody? Why don't we blame the damn Kardashians for all of this?
I'm not saying we shouldn't.
But I don't hear them calling for the cancellation of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Everybody's so upset.
It's ending on its own.
Yeah, but thank God. But I mean, no one's saying, "Hey, let's cancel it."
Why do you keep muting yourself? Oh, because you don't have an on and off.
He doesn't have an on-off button.
Gotcha.
See how much he cares about you.
Oh,
He gave you the good one.
no. What is she doing?
She's walking a catwalk.
No, the other girl.
Oh,
You know what that is?
That's a condom.
Yes.
What were you expecting? Condoms?
AIDS people have sex with that. Was it a used one that she picked up?
Yes, that she found on the ground.
Bruh. Oh, now she's the outsider. Oh, poor thing. Oh, they're washing her mouth out with soap.
That's how you beat Corona.
All right. I would just like to say that up through this point, I don't see a whole lot of difference between this and like the male teenage sex comedies,
No.
other than the
They're
seriousness that this movie
11-year-old
takes.
girls.
No, but I'm saying
What
this
male sex
this-
comedy has 11-year-old boys?
How about this? What is different between this and Stand By Me? If
Or-
we shot Stand By Me today.
Or what was the other one that just it was
They're
younger
11-year-old
teens.
girls.
I can't remember.
Good Boys?
Good Boys.
Yeah, what's the difference between this and Good Boys?
Other than Good Boys is clearly a comedy.
Oh. Turn your camera on. Oh. Is this Bathroom Boy? Yeah, it's Toilet Time Boy, right? So they're FaceTiming, or they're FaceTiming, but not with their camera turned on. With Toilet Time Boy. By the way, a girl took her hazing really well. Like, she ate the soap and had her face washed, and now she's just cool with them.
That's how you get rid of AIDS, man.
I would not be cool with that.
If you think that's the way you're getting out of that situation, you probably.
Yeah, I would.
I mean, this
fuck
comes
y'all.
from Spit and Flour fixes.
That's true. That's true. Oh. Oh. Oh Lord. Oh God.
Did they just break a laptop just because she was upset? Okay, well,
Kids are spoiled. Yeah, I mean, listen, not all of us are, buying our nephews computers and stuff. So
You don't just go to the laptop room and pick up more laptops.
Yeah.
Only
we don't have like 3 or
you
4.
have
of them
more
sitting in our
laptops than I
closet.
do.
Listen, we have equipment for a podcast, not just 7 or 8 laptops laying around with monitors and all sorts of other TVs and stuff. Oh man.
choreography.
And in like 15 seconds, we've now ostracized 2 of our friends. Ooh! Oh, it's going down. It's going down. Up the fight. Here we go. Up. Get it.
Ain't nothing like the slaps where you keep your arm completely rigid the entire way through.
The follow through is everything. You don't want to. You're not going to hit them. You're trying to hit something on the other side.
You're not
of
trying to
them.
like connect. You're just trying to wildly swing in the direction of.
What did she call me? Dang. Kids are vicious.
I know, man. You know what's funny? I never, growing up, I mean, I don't know if this is a Mexico thing, but I never had any issues with like bullies or kids being like that. Like, yeah, we'd get into fights, but it'd be more like, oh, we're playing tag and somebody just like pulled on your shirt and it's like, hey, dude, or
Again, I mean, we all didn't have gold toilets and bodyguards taking us to school and stuff.
Really?
That's a unique.
really, I
it's a
live in
unique
a
trait.
town smaller than Echo Park.
The Eric Trump of Mexico.
Yeah, listen, it's a small town. Everybody worked for your dad.
Oh yeah.
In the very strange little cabanas outside of town. and-
Jesus, come on. Are we really putting that stuff out? People, that's not true. For all what? No. We're okay.
Oh, look at her little Miss Choreographer.
These aren't really. These aren't. Are these real songs? I don't think I've ever heard this song before.
I mean, it's probably a French song that's popular.
It's in English.
Don't you know he's way more cultured than us, Corey? Clearly, he listens to French music all the time. All right, we're getting on in a weird place right now.
See, but she wants to. She just wants to be like the
Oh.
ones in the video.
Little whoppy. It's a little whoppy. So, but again, though, sexualized maybe, but it's dancing. She's showing them how to dance.
So far, I feel like this is happening all across the country, all across the world, in different
100%.
variations. Like some 11-year-old is learning how to twerk right now somewhere.
I dig this song though. I gotta find a track. Whatever this track is.
No, you don't find anything about this. All right, so at the end of the movie, I do want us to read what the director said was the purpose of this film, like what she was trying to show.
I mean, at this point, I assume it's girls want to be adults, just like all kids want to be adults to some degree. And
Yeah. What was the underlying theme of Superbad? Wanting to like
lose your virginity or
act older even though you're in high school.
17-year-olds.
Yeah, kids are gonna act like adults. And when it was us, it was 16 and 17. Now, because of the internet and everything else, they're 12 and 13.
I think there's also
Oh, he just spoke Spanish.
y'all. If you get in a tussle, then you're gonna have a hard time getting separated. There, that hair is gonna get stuck.
Yeah, so they've braided their hair together.
I'm just saying, I don't think I'd want to do that with some girl who starts fights so quickly. Because literally, the girl walked back. It's just like, have you decided? It's like, fuck off.
Oh man. Yeah, but for
And
right
now
now,
she's
on the
wondering
inside.
why her parents are saying that she's such a bad daughter.
Her dream is my dad never comes back, by the way. I don't know if people were.
I understand French.
And I can do more than one thing at a time. I'm trying to send DMs to people who want to watch and can't find the link. By the way, the link is always in the bio. Linktree, linktr.ee will always have the links.
Oh, it's time for what? Oh, she's becoming a woman today.
Yep, she's got to take on some chores and shit.
Okay, so they're preparing for the father's wedding, preparing dinner for the father's wedding. So, did I miss somewhere where she was informed? Was that on the phone call where she dropped it out the window?
No, but I think they've already told her at this point.
Well,
We just didn't see
we
it.
didn't get any sound from the call, but I would imagine that that's what it was. Like, yeah, I'm getting married and I'm bringing her in, and like, all right.
It's hard to remember what was said and what wasn't here.
This is why liars have such a hard time when they are lying to their significant others. They can't keep their lies
She's watching,
straight.
by the way. Which, by the way, you look beautiful, babe.
Wait, that's not her that you're looking at on.
That's
your
that's an awful lot of onions.
Is it onions? That's what I was trying to figure out. In the bag?
Yeah, she's crying.
Oh no! Wait, is her competition today?
onions.
Oh, she's got to go to practice. Is that what's going on? I haven't followed. Oh, that's her wedding dress too. I guess her dress she's wearing to the wedding.
Yeah.
There's blood in it?
Yeah, I think this is like she's seeing something that's not there.
Is it all ripped up?
No, it just looks like it's bleeding.
Bloody? Why is it bloody?
I don't think it was really bloody. That had to be in
Dude,
her
did you
head.
not see the blood in the...
Yeah, but that
ground?
had to be in her head. And then we got a little bit of it too, like carry it on your head. We're not in Senegal. And she's just leaving all her responsibilities behind. Bye.
Oh, but seriously, why was there blood on the dress?
So the scene before that, they were talking about how if you dream a thing, it comes true, or if you dream it 3 times, it comes true. I think she was dreaming that something bad was going to happen around her father's wedding, and then that was her visualizing something that may or may not have been true. Oh no!
Either
Oh,
that or they
no.
never mentioned it again. And
Yes.
it's just like, what was the bleeding from the dress about?
But it looks like she may have missed her
She did.
competition. Oh no. They're using her dance and she missed it.
Yes, Corey.
And they're so bad at it too. Like
That's
they don't have leadership.
It looks like they're looking for more of a dance, like as opposed to music video dance, you know? I'm sort of judging from the judge's face.
Well, it just because they have no leadership, so it's hard for them to. I think what they're looking at and saying is like, okay, so you got some moves, but who is running this?
Wait a minute. This is
Oh, Sweetie Swag.
the
Oh.
group from the video.
Yeah, and the white girl is definitely going to leave to go join Sweetie Swag. You and that crap friend of yours, I swear I'm going to kick her ass. I was translating
So
for you.
she's Russian now, or
Was that not French?
no?
It was something.
I've been playing too much Warzone.
Yeah.
Get ready to deploy.
This isn't French, just so you know.
Yeah, I think she's definitely speaking Senegalese now, I think. Oh, she got her monthlies. That was what she was envisioning. Yes. Okay. That is the dress bleeding thing. It was just her visualization of the monthly.
Maybe.
So do you know how you can tell that was French, or it wasn't French, and was a sub-Saharan African language?
Yeah, there's nothing dripping there now, so clearly.
The number of consonants, the enunciation.
Really?
I follow a really great TikTok about the differences between language, and I've learned so much from a
Dude,
TikTok.
you're missing the mom telling her she's a woman now.
I'm not. Did you have sisters?
No?
Yes, I know everything that happens on this day. I have lived through this day.
Not the people watching.
That's all she can muster, though.
There's no more explanation. Grandma saying, "Hey, you got it good. I was engaged.
Yeah.
I was as soon as
Here's
I
all
had
the
that."
things that went through with me, and then
Mom saying like, "You're a woman now.
bye.
Bye." I really hate that blonde girl. I really hope something bad happens to her.
Dude.
What? I say the same thing about people in real life.
Or the characters that they're playing.
I mean that. You know what I mean?
It's
That's
not
what I
that
mean.
blonde girl
Not-
personally.
Not that child, but the character that child is playing. Whereas, I mean, I do wish real harm on.
Fuck that guy. Not the character he's playing. Benicio del Toro. Fuck him.
That's just what Roberto screams at the screen on a regular basis.
No. Come
I
on.
could have played that part. 70-year-old Mexican grandfather. That could have been me. I got range.
Put a wig on me. You can CGI my wrinkles.
But no, I mean, I say that about real people too. Like, oh, no mask. Just gonna go to a bar. Okay, now I hope something terrible happens to you. Yes, absolutely. And if you're watching this like 2 years, 3 years, 10 years from now, coronavirus. I mean,
Google it. It's probably still gonna be around. to be
Wait, what's
honest.
this?
Corey's a little out of touch with the world around him.
Something going on. I've been writing for a while.
Almost through that one scene though, so you're good. Are they?
At laser tag?
Yeah, but they're not playing laser tag. They snuck in the back door.
I think they think it's a club.
I think it is a club. I bet you there's a club somewhere around there, or maybe not.
Or maybe you're just breaking into laser tag. You don't need the actual lasers to have fun, apparently.
We should go to laser tag.
Corona. I don't want to be indoors with anyone.
We should do virtual laser tag.
Yeah, let's do virtual laser tag. Or, we can get the battery packs and go out to the park and play laser tag.
We can do that.
Or, we could
we're
just...
going to the batting cage later today, by the way.
No.
I don't know if Corey mentioned it.
Somebody got kicked out. They made it.
Yep. I mean, I'm going to assume so since they're dancing around like crazy people. That I mean, if there's anybody in this movie who looks like a creeper, it's that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like him. I don't like the way he's looking at them. I don't like anything about this situation.
He kind of looks like a perverted Simon Pegg.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they chose him specifically for that look. Like they want us to feel that way. Kids these days wildin'.
See, but to them, they don't know better. And I mean, like you could make an argument that
Parents are the problem.
well,
yes.
yeah, but I mean, like dancing. However, you feel like dancing is not a problem. The problem is if you don't understand the separations between why those dances are happening.
Yeah.
Like an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13-year-old isn't going to understand the greater ideal of like what the sexuality means.
Again, keep
as
in
a
mind
viewer.
what they were talking about at the beginning about like, oh yeah, no, it goes all the way through you and you spit
Yeah,
it out.
clearly.
Like, they have no idea.
One thing that I keep thinking about though is, I mean, when you're 11, you don't buy your own clothes. So why are we buying them? Well, not we, but
No,
in the
so-
movie, why are they
so-
buying them crop tops and really short shorts and leather pants or leggings or whatever?
Was that shirt a crop top that the girl was wearing? No, she wore her little brother's shirt.
No, I'm talking about the other girls.
Okay, so any of this could be like, oh, my little sister's shirt that when I wear it, it becomes a crop top. I'm gonna buy like long shorts and then cut them off.
Also, I think every generation goes through this in some way or another. Because like, when we were in high school and stuff like that, is when the sort of crop top look first started coming in, and I remember like high schools were like sort of here or there about the rules on those. Like, can girls wear these to school? And like, that was.
Yeah, I'd really like to talk about a discussion too. The whole the girls couldn't wear spaghetti straps in high school because it would distract boys, and we didn't say, "Hey, stop staring at girls, dummy." Oh, howdy. She looks a little different than she did at the beginning of the movie now
Why would you say hey howdy? Jesus.
because she looks so much different.
drastically different than she did just minutes ago.
Okay.
See, I think this might also be part of the problem here is that everyone has to think about things in a sexualized scope, like I imagine that if I was watching this movie under the pretense that I'm supposed to hate it,
Yes.
then I would really fucking hate it.
Yes.
I
went into this saying, oh, okay, this is a French film about a dance crew of young girls, and I'm seeing a film about a dance crew of young girls.
I mean, more than anything, I just feel like Netflix fucked up the poster. And I mean, they probably did it to make it more alluring and more eye-catching.
Right.
But like this doesn't seem very indicative of the movie that I'm,
I want to talk about how social dilemma plays into this too, because I think that played a big part of it.
Yeah.
They're giving us what we want.
I'm just saying,
the other dance group.
what's still from this movie so far makes a compelling poster to you? Because I don't think there's anything.
I mean, I haven't seen anything. That's maybe her side
we'll
by
see.
side in the Islamic garb, and then her like this.
We'll see the
Oh!
we'll see the new poster.
It's
soon.
about to go down. And now she's just become her friend, right? Just fighting over nothing. It's not going well. Oh, it's not going well.
Why are the friends not? Why did it take you guys so long to get here?
Because when people start dumbass fights, the friends don't rush in to save them.
They're bad friends.
No, they're fine friends. They don't go starting dumbass fights.
He's talking about Call of Duty. Don't pay attention.
Roberto likes to just start fighting like 9 people, like contact, and I'm gonna shoot 9 people, and I'm like, run!
I only shoot helicopters in Call of Duty, just to be clear.
That's why every time I see like guy with a knife at Burger King, where's Roberto? Where's Roberto? Somebody check.
Okay, so this is a new poster coming up here. Because they changed it. They actually changed it right away. When the whole thing started, they
Oh, see again, the dress is her life. It's about her being
Dress is
a
filling
good
out, too.
girl.
Yeah, it's filling out.
Yeah.
this is a new poster.
Well, so this is the poster that was
This is the French poster.
the foreign poster.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw this one.
This is not the new Netflix poster. The new Netflix poster is just her from the closet point of view looking out.
Is it? I thought they.
Yes, this is the foreign. This is everywhere else
The
except for the
Mignonnes.
US. Yes, Mignonnes poster. Did we see where they got the money from though?
She stole it from her mom.
Oh, to get better underwear because they made fun of her. Right. This is a whole look though. This is a whole
God.
look. Just
See, let me ask you this: if you saw an 11-year-old girl at Victoria's Secret, would you see that and be like, what is it? What is an 11-year-old girl doing here?
I'm trying to think back. I probably knew of girls going to Victoria's Secrets probably around like 13 or 14,
Yep.
which is usually like around
Oh.
where development starts happening,
Yep.
so to speak. So I mean, like I feel like 11 is young because obviously, you're gonna have to throw all this stuff out. It's like real soon, but like I can understand why. Again, it's about like how they want to identify themselves, and they're doing this through clothing.
I mean, listen. I also know that the wash that my parents did for my sister was not the wash that my sister did for my sister, and some stuff got washed with the family wash, and some of it got washed privately. Oh,
Whoa.
Girl, no.
did she steal his jacket? Is that what she's
No,
referring
no.
No,
He
the
found
phone.
the phone.
to? Okay, so yeah, so he found that she stole the phone, and then she's trying to seduce him.
So who is this guy? Have we established who this is?
I mean, clearly they know each other because he was the guy who was helping move things
Yeah.
in, but we haven't really seen him since.
What is she doing?
She's
Taking a picture, I think, to
Give him
Blame-
on the phone or
give him the phone back and then say that.
Oh no! No, I think she's publishing it somewhere. Oh, that's not good. And now she basically looks like the girl from the very beginning of the movie, right? Or that girl that she saw. Slut shaming.
Oh!
Oh! Okay, I'm kind of glad we didn't do that. She just stabbed a little boy in his hand.
Yes.
Shades of
Dang.
Joker.
Dang.
Who wants to play a magic trick?
Oh, let's exercise her now. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.
No joke. I think they actually are.
No,
doing
yeah,
like
that's what they're
They're
doing.
doing a purification ceremony. That is nuts.
Hey, that's a cultural thing.
Yeah, they're like 100% doing a purification ceremony right now. Okay, so just to clarify for she didn't want him to get caught with a picture on her phone. She literally took a nude picture of herself,
And
posted on
it.
I guess Instagram or the French version of Instagram. And then the boy at school like slapped her as she walked past the desk and then said, "Wait, she's a slut." And now she's
Dancing.
she's essentially dancing, but I think she's giving her mom and the ladies at the church what they want. They want to see an exorcism, so she's pretending.
Oh, she's back.
Let me tell you, as a child who grew up in a Christian household,
Wait a minute, and she's got it back, so she went shopping again, or?
yeah, sometimes you just do the things your parents want you to do, and then you fake it.
It's
and
probably
get
the
out of
bag from before.
getting the sense this is sending the exact opposite message that everyone thinks this movie has. Like she's going too far, and her friends don't agree with what she did. Basically, people are dumb. Chala?
What?
It said chillax, but she said chala? Chillu? By the way, I don't know if it's going to set off YouTube's heat sensor, but I can actually see the video upside down and at a 45-degree angle in your screen. It's fine. It's not going to be it's not going to be a problem. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be a problem. So if you guys want to watch it along with us and don't have Netflix. Oh, she's bringing in the big guns. She had to bring the imam in.
I'm having a hard time with the fact that she actually took that picture and posted it on her social media just to get, likes.
Get likes? Yeah.
And well,
when your brain isn't fully developed, the pleasure sensors that come with gratification of some sort of kind are unruly.
It's a lot of prefrontal cortex. Like, I know this will be the result. I don't really care about the consequences down the road. Just give me the knock of whatever now.
The dopamine.
Wolof is a language of Senegal, Gambia, Mauritania, and the native language of the Wolof people, which is very similar to neighboring languages like Serer and Fula. But it's in the Senegambian branch of the Niger-Congo language family. But Senegal again. Oh, maybe not so body positive.
well, I mean, that's kind of a reality. Is she about to form her own dance group?
With Yasmin?
Yeah.
These girls aren't taking it seriously. You seem like you take it seriously. Let's do this. Oh, no, she's back in.
Replaced.
Oh, no. Oh,
it's
the
a
friends.
foursome, and we got down to 3, and we needed to bring it up to 4.
Oh, poor thing.
Just like Corey replaced me.
With who?
It's a joke. It's an inside thing about, what's his name?
Raphael?
Yes.
Because I saw him at the store one day. It's just like, Corey's replacing me.
To be fair, we're only allowed to have one Hispanic friend at a time. So
You have-
1, 2, that's too many. It's too many.
To be fair, it doesn't count. Brazil.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Somebody cooking? What was that?
What oil?
That was the
Oh.
I forgot we had headphones on for a second. And it sounded like it came out of one side only. And I'm like, what?
Somebody making toast?
I'm willing to be your friend, just when we're around.
I'm not sure the other girls though.
No, she said I'm willing to be your friend, just not around the other girls.
You didn't qualify anyway, bitch.
I feel like this is kind of like Star Wars, and I'm going to tell you why during the discussion.
Yes. She just wanted friends, man. Never mind about the being friends when nobody can see us.
You crazy.
Disregard that.
You went too far.
She wanted friends, man.
Gotta do what you gotta do. It's tough out in this world.
I was saying, from that perspective, I remember when I was 11 years old and I was not popular. Spoiler alert.
What?
I was not a popular
Who
kid.
would have thought?
But I would, like sometimes you do stupid shit just to like get on somebody's radar because you think that they might be friends with you if you do or say the thing that helps. And now she's like way too deep into this whole thing.
I just really hope that this does not take a very dark turn here.
I'm just realizing why Corey learned to skate as well. Why he calls himself a skater.
He just wanted friends, man.
I'm just trying to be friends. That's
I didn't do that to make friends. I did that for myself. I made friends along the way. That's the best way to take in a hobby.
Yeah. Oh, she about to go mess up the room.
Are they in the shower together? Yeah, that is a strange culture. And I say strange, just different from what
We're
used
about to see Dad here in a second.
Yeah, I think so, but we're about to meet the second wife too. Oh, and she is uber pious, wearing her burqa, the covering that covers.
It's all white. That means marriage.
Isn't that the same as when the grandmother talked about being in the all white?
She's about to get married. That's what I'm saying.
To be delivered to the husband.
Remember what she said though. She was her age. So what is that?
Yeah.
Now the bag makes sense. Yeah, she's hiding the bag outside of the house so she doesn't get caught with the stuff.
Did she just run out of the house?
Yep. To be honest, I'd probably do the same thing.
And put on makeup like that too?
I mean, yes, that too. My eyes would I'd absolutely dress like that if my parents were getting remarried. I don't know if you can tell, but I was a bit of a handful as a child.
What are you doing now, girl?
Oh, she's going to push her. Oh!
Wait, is this one of the girls?
Yeah, it's the girl who they replaced her with.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. But she can't swim, and now she feels bad because she pushed her in the river.
Oh, girl,
girl
are you
about
going
to
to let her
drown.
drown?
Let her drown. Let her drown. Well, she probably can't swim either.
She's got the buoy. She's okay.
Yeah.
She was making the I can't let you die, but if you can get to the buoy, then you can figure out a way to.
All right, you all right. You all right. All right, I got stuff to do. Let's go do this. So I'm here just in case you need a replacement. I don't know. Did somebody not show up? Oh, funny. Okay, well, I'm here. Also, she dyed her hair. Where did the hair dye come from?
Spray paint.
Ah.
Hairspray thing. See, they're spraying right now.
She's much better.
See, so that's actually the name of the dance group too. Cuties. Mignonnes. Oh. No.
Again, there are millions of tweens doing this dance right now. That's the WAP dance.
I feel like the crowd's not liking this. See?
The older women do not like it.
Yep. Uh.
You mean the older judge doesn't seem to like it?
No, there was a shot of the crowd and
In
Yeah,
the
there
crowd,
was a
yeah.
shot of women who are just like, oh my god, these kids.
And there's the cover right there. Covering her eyes.
Oh, monthly.
No. The gold stuff fell out of her hair from earlier. Her old life and her new life are crashing together, and it just became too much.
So you did all that to come and dance.
She's definitely going to run into Yasmin on the walk back, too.
No. No, but she's about to walk in a very religiously ceremonial
Whoops. Yeah,
wedding.
she's about to go into her wedding dressed like that. So she calls her auntie. I'm guessing that's not like a real relative. Probably her dad's relative.
That's
maybe?
probably grandma.
I don't think.
Or it could be an older sister.
Yeah, I mean maybe.
You know, like it could be an auntie, and it's just like she's way older than her
Maybe.
mother, who's way, you know, like.
I just feel like it's not a direct relative. It wouldn't be grandma because you would call him grandma. You wouldn't call him auntie.
I guess. Could also be a ceremonial thing or like a religious thing where the elder is everybody's auntie, sort of.
Yeah, but that's when it's like we're not related. Like I got aunts and uncles that ain't my aunts and uncles. I got cousins that ain't my cousins. It's just people that we hung out with a lot when I was a kid. People at my church. I mean, I'd be embarrassed to dress like that in front of my parents, but that's again generational difference. I don't.
Yeah.
I think there's a part of the mom that's like, I wish I could fucking just do what I want and run away from it all, but I have to be proper for my husband's new marriage to another woman, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's fine if you don't come. Dang.
Did we? I don't think we've ever established what mom does for a living, right? Like,
I don't think it really matters.
no, I know, but I'm saying it's just sometimes you get like the feel of like, oh, they're poor and living
They
in
are
the
poor.
slums, but then
Yeah, I mean, so they're living in what is likely public housing, or
it
a
is public housing.
small apartment building in Paris, and the mom works in like a food stall. She sells stuff on the street.
Mm. I can imagine somebody with a fan just right out of the shot. It's like, okay, turn it on.
No sound on this one.
Yeah.
We're just gonna hit it with the leaf blower real quick.
And she chooses not to go with either one. Rather than going with the dress, she goes with her own clothes. Was there a white woman in there? Did you see a white woman in there?
I didn't see.
Could be invited.
Always appropriating some culture in the full dress. Come on now.
She could be part of the family. You don't know. Let's explore my childhood again.
I really love this shot. I don't know how they
Yeah.
did that, but I really like this shot. How do you pronounce the director's name?
Maimouna Dukoy.
Mm.
All right, so we have.
Wait, you just okay. Never mind.
Did you want to go through the credits and see if there was anyone you knew from the French film?
No. I forgot that he was doing the play thing, the party.
Oh
So when you closed it, I was like, oh.
no, that was just for us. That was for our monitor situation here.
Yeah.
So I think child porn is an awful big. Like I feel like I've heard a couple people say that. And I don't know where this is coming from per se.
Well, I mean, I can definitely see where some of the people that are complaining about this movie, where they're coming from. But again, it's
No, wait,
You
wait,
can
wait, wait,
see-
back that up. What are you seeing that makes sense?
so there's definitely an aspect of over sexualization of these little children. But then again, if you just look at it through the eyes of like, oh my God, look at what these children are doing, obviously you're going to find something wrong with it. But I can definitely see that was not the intent. The film that was not the purpose of it, and that is not what the director set out to do. On the contrary, if anything, it's a what's the word? A commentary on today's youth. Like, this is very much a real thing that's going on.
Well,
But obviously, if you just see a poster, or if you just see a little bit of the movie where they're dancing and doing all these things, it's shocking. I'm not gonna lie, it did shock me too. Like, I was watching, I was like, oh man, like this. But it's true. It's the reality of things.
So,
it's nothing.
Flash coming in on the Discord, and of course, you can always join any of the live streams that we do. We have a Discord that runs, so you can join us there. And she says, honestly, a super accurate representation. People are just mad 11-year-olds are playing 11-year-olds instead of 16-year-olds playing that age. And I think there's a
Yeah.
kernel of truth there. Like, we would be more comfortable if it was like, all right, that's Selena Gomez. She's 18. She's playing 13. I'm feeling more comfortable about how this movie makes me feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could certainly be a part. I also think that in the minds of people, I guess, who are thinking about, preteen girls or something like that, there's like, I think in people's minds they think like, oh, when they turn 13, is when they start pushing boundaries or something like that. But that's not even like, like I feel like this movie is indicative of how people take in content that they're not necessarily able to process in the way that an adult would. But I remember girls at middle school dances when I was of a similar age, grinding up against people too. Like it wasn't anything different. Everyone wanted to be an adult so bad. And then
and that's the overall statement of all of this. It's that there are, and again, remember, French director, French film about kids in Paris. We are watching it in the U.S. and it had some controversy in the U.S., but I think in the end it's someone making commentary about French society, and they're saying this is exactly the problem, that kids want to be adults. And you may think, oh, well, when they're 15, or our parents may think, when you're 15 and 16, you start pushing boundaries and trying to be an adult. And we may think, oh, well, when you're 13, you start pushing boundaries and trying to be an adult. But that changes every generation. And there was likely generations before where it was earlier. Like Auntie says in there, when I was your age, I was about to get married.
Yeah, that's actually the fact that she brought that up. Like a lot of people probably watch that and they're like, oh, well, it's just like passes through. But it's actually a really
what she was describing. She was describing that the day she was engaged while she was a child.
Yeah.
The day she got her period, she also got married. Because
delivered.
The guy was not allowed to marry her until she was fully a woman.
Yeah.
So the day she had her period, they cleaned her, they wrapped her up and delivered her to her husband and said, hey, she's yours now. So and going back to what you said at the beginning, I think it's a commentary about the sexualization of young women, but that is not what this movie is doing.
Yeah.
That is what society is doing. Society is causing society is sexualizing younger and younger girls, and it's causing the sexualization of younger and younger girls. But that's not this movie's fault. This movie is a commentary on the fact that that's happening.
No,
I think here's the thing, though. I think that if this movie was 4 20-year-old girls who are in college and going to do the dance thing, then nobody would have a fucking word to say about anything that happened.
That movie exists. Bring it on again.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there's a version of this movie where it's done by adults and nobody bats an eye because
but that's
it's adult thing. It's adults doing adult things. But part of what the commentary of this movie is that these kids don't know better. That's part of the problem with kids is like you take things in and you don't necessarily know what it means or like what the consequences of these things are. That's why she does things. She steals. She doesn't recognize the consequence of what she's doing because she needs the immediate response of being able to get the thing that she wants. She wants the phone. She's going to take it. She's not going to think about the consequences. And now this is when she loses it. When he comes back and takes it back from her, she's like, oh, I gotta make the most of it.
Yeah, big right now. And I mean, the little boy with the pen, no thinking about consequences. Just he's embarrassing me right now, so I'm gonna grab a pen and stab him in the top of the hand. And we are basically telling these kids to act more adult-like, or then judging them for acting more adult-like. It's something I continue to I joke about, but is less than funny. But at 18, I started down the path of taking loans for which I will be paying the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I was in high school. I had to ask someone's permission to go to the bathroom, but there was a recruiter for all 5 branches of the military in the lunchroom where I could have signed up for 4 years to go and die.
Yeah.
But I got to go ask you if I can go to the bathroom. And then I can sign a loan document that is going to put me $50,000 in debt instantaneously. Like, we live in a society that says we have this duplicity of we want you to act more grown up. And how many, I can't say for sure because I don't know any or very many or maybe any 11 or 12-year-olds now. But I remember being 12 and like having a little temper tantrum and having my parents be like, you got to act more mature. You need to stop this and act more mature. But then we also look at this and say, stop acting so mature.
I also wonder if any of the people who are having outrage about this and the cancel Cuties aspect of this whole thing is aware of what's going on
cancel
TikTok
Netflix
right now.
is
cancel Netflix. Yeah, but I mean, like,
hashtag.
but I'm saying, like, I could go on TikTok right now and I could be watching through videos and everything is kosher. It's just normal everyday adult things.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you see somebody and you're just like, how old is this girl dressing like or dancing like that?
9.
Yeah,
9,
and then
10.
you say to yourself, I have no interest in watching this anymore, and you get rid of it. But at the same time, there's nothing legally that like TikTok could do to stop that girl from doing, as long as she's not doing something that is in blatant violation of the rules,
Yep.
like nudity or something like that.
I was gonna say, and it's something directly sexual.
Right. But I'm saying, like, if she's just sitting there, just twerking or something like that, there's not really anything that, like, TikTok, because that's not illegal. It's like,
I think that's also kind of part of what people are having problems with is the fact that it's a reality, and this is happening out there. Like you were saying when we were watching the movie, right now out there's 11-year-old girls twerking somewhere,
Yeah.
trying to learn how to twerk somewhere
On TikTok right now.
But the fact that you watch it, it's on Netflix, and you can watch it. Anyone can watch it, really. I feel like a lot of people are having a hard time with facing that reality of like, well, I don't want to see that. Why would I want to see little girls dancing? Where you can just go to TikTok and probably find something like that. So
I could find way worse on TikTok right now.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like when people are complaining about like, oh my God, I gotta cancel my subscription, or I gotta cancel Netflix because they were willing to put this out there. But you're not looking at the big picture here. Like you're not looking at everything else out there that allows 11-year-old girls to dance and show themselves like that. Portray themselves like that. But one thing that you mentioned that I think it's an interesting question. You made the comment about this being a French film.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that this film could get made in America right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
An American director, American actor, 11-year-old, because
yes,
11-year-old actresses.
Yes,
I think it would be tougher because they would try and find any sort of way they could to get older people who play younger to be in the movie, just because with the way that it works in America with child actors is I think if you're 11,
you can only work like 4 hours a day.
Yeah,
right?
4 hours a day, and you have to have school for the rest of the day and stuff like that, and it's got to be broken up. So like just the process of being able to shoot a movie like this in America would require you to have like double the amount of days you probably would be able to get away with in France.
Here's the thing though. In France, they had to make it a fictional movie. You could make a documentary in the United States about this.
Yeah.
Because part of my argument that I continue to get into with people on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere is this is a thing in the United States. Competitive dance teams that do a mixture of jazz and urban dancing and ballet and everything, just street dancing. And they go as young as 9. So there is a show called P-Valley on HBO or Showtime, one or the other. And one of the girls is a stripper. She works at a strip club, but she wants to quit working as a stripper and start being a coach and a teacher. And she has 4 teams, 9 to 12, 13 to 15, 15 and 16, and 17 to 18, basically. And like a whole storyline about her trying to get a studio because right now they practice outside. But essentially, all 4 of them are doing the same routine or versions of the same routine. There is 9 to 12-year-olds doing that kind of routine. And that's a fictionalized version, but this is a real thing that happens. Competitive dance teams that are doing these kind of dances.
But see, one of the reasons why I bring up the question is we already have politicians that have gotten involved with this issue. There was what's her name that I mispronounced earlier?
Tulsi Gabbard,
who literally posted a tweet saying that Netflix is now complicit to child pornography and child
See, but
wait, but what I'm saying is the reason why I asked the question, could this be made in America? Do you really think that there could be an American version of Cuties, and then all of a sudden it gets to Netflix, and American politicians or the government or whoever? I mean, there's already Facebook groups that are against the movie and against what Netflix and them putting this out there.
Nothing that was in this movie was illegal.
No.
My worst fear throughout this entire thing was that I was going to there was the one moment where he's like, "Give me my phone back," and she starts undoing the shirt and stuff like that. And I was just like, I wonder if we're going to get something horribly illegal happening right here. At which point I would have been very uncomfortable with the movie. But the fact that she made the move. She was just like, "Hey, this is yours if you want it." And he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like,
Hey, kid,
yeah,
get out
like,
of here.
I don't
What
want-
are you doing?
I don't want anything to do with this. Sort of institutes like the idea that like, this isn't meant to be some like literally nothing about this movie. You could argue about like how much you would be able to work the child actors in America.
Yeah.
But nothing about this movie is not. You could get parents to sign off on all this and it's legal. Like there was nothing.
The worst part was in the bathroom right after that. But essentially, it's just like, all right, so we're gonna put you.
But
in
you
three
don't
pairs,
see anything.
We're gonna put you in 3 pairs of pants. Pull down the outer layer, keep it up above your knees.
And
take a picture
they
of it.
probably did.
That's
They
exactly
probably.
what they did.
I mean,
Yeah.
like you just can't. Just like you would have a love scene, like the people are naked, but
Yeah.
you're really just wearing a sock.
Yeah.
Like.
I mean, that's
You know.
uncomfortable enough. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but I'm
Right.
saying like there's reasons that things are done in a certain way, and it's to make sure people feel as comfortable as humanly possible in a situation that might not be comfortable. So if you're in a love scene with somebody, it could be very uncomfortable for both of you to be completely naked in that situation.
Yeah.
So if you do feel uncomfortable, we have certain things that we can do. If we need to reshoot the whole scene so that you're covered up with the bedspread
Yeah.
and you're wearing shorts underneath, then we can do that if we need to. But
Unless
obviously you're trying to push things too to get like we have a sexy scene in this movie.
unless you're shooting Brown Bunny or Buffalo.
Well,
66.
yeah, I mean, like obviously,
Well, now that you mentioned,
if you're Vincent Gallo, it's a whole different.
now that you talk about, you just mentioned about.
I don't think Vincent Gallo would be allowed to make this movie. How
No,
about that?
absolutely not.
You just mentioned pushing boundaries. So
But
thinking about it,
wait, because I don't want to skip over this though. American politicians are jumping into the discussion and saying, Netflix, you are pushing child pornography, but you don't
And
get to have it.
human trafficking.
And human trafficking. Politicians don't get to have it both ways though, because the ones you're hearing from the most and the loudest are Republican politicians who are all.
And Tulsi, who's basically a Republican.
Yeah,
at this
I
point.
was going to say, and some Democrats who are dinos, Democrats in name only. And these are folks who are very free market, very capitalist, and very like, no. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, you should be able to do it. Okay. Well, the reason that Victoria's Secret sells junior sizes that would fit girls like this is because of the free market. Because we as a society have created a demand, therefore they are just supplying the demand we've created. The reason that Forever 21 has less than junior sizes, like 8, 9, 10-year-old sizes. Are you hearing? Are you hearing the air conditioner?
No, it was not that. Like all of a sudden, your sound sounded
Oh.
different.
All I'm saying is
Don't worry about it so much because I'll let you know if something's
yes,
wrong.
we as a society have created demand, and all of these people who are like, you are complicit. Like, no, wait. Let's say this was exactly what you're saying it was. Then Netflix is merely doing what you say is absolutely okay, and that's giving a supply to the demand. It's not that. It's not that at all. And they're trying to put blame on. Listen, if we observe a car crash, you can't have someone walk in the apartment and then say, "Roberto, why didn't you do anything about the car crash?" You are just an observer
Well,
of what's happening outside.
not only that, I still remember when. So probably when I was really about this age is when South Park started.
Yeah.
And there were people who were saying like, you can't wear South Park T-shirts to school. You can't talk about South Park. It's not appropriate for kids. And I watch South Park all the time. Like nobody stopped me. But was it inappropriate? Sure, I guess a little bit, but it didn't feel any more inappropriate than things I was already aware of. Like nothing happened in that cartoon that I didn't have some sort of like knowledge of at that age. And like the reasons why they would say like, oh, there's a child who gets murdered in every episode. And I'm just like, if you watch it, if you watch Kenny die every episode, you say to yourself, oh, that's a joke. He clearly gets killed in more elaborate ways every single way because, but like if you watch the news back then, they were just like, in one of these episodes, a child was killed in a wood chipper. And another, he was thrown in the air and impaled on an American flag. Like, and it sounds really bad when you say it, but when you watch the show, you're just like, no. This is just the new levels that this show, which is built off of, shock value.
But at one
But
point,
nothing about this was shocking. I mean, like nothing
Yeah.
about this was
And
anywhere close to that line.
For my parents, it wasn't even Kenny's repeated death. It was almost
cursing.
No. Cursing is fine because again, there's nothing on South Park you couldn't see on the regular news or.
Yeah, it wasn't
anywhere on
until they
TV.
said shit like 187 times
Yeah.
in one episode.
which was also allowed because NYPD Blue did it first. They made
Yeah.
a joke about that too. But like, the whole point of it was it's social commentary in a way that he can comprehend. We don't want that. It's almost like we don't want you to see the world for what it really is. We would prefer you to have the newscaster saying like you're not safe, and I'm going to explain to you why, but you're never going to really understand. But when South Park is explaining human trafficking
Yeah.
and making a joke of it and being like, we're joking about it because we as a society have treated it like a joke because we're not doing anything to do anything about it, and pointing out that it shouldn't be funny, but you're laughing, and maybe that you should wonder, why are you laughing at it? That's what my parents didn't want. They didn't want you to ask those questions.
I don't really think that this movie, I mean, like,
I mean, it pushed some boundaries, but not.
Wait, what? What boundaries did it push?
Okay, so I'm just
I
trying,
mean,
I'm just
I
trying to
feel-
get on
I
the
feel like-
mindset.
I feel like if you're watching this movie, so the only thing to me that you could argue was anywhere close to like objectionable or problematic is that from time to time when they were doing dance scenes, they kind of like zoom in on
yeah, I thought
them
about
shaking butts or something like
Yeah.
that. Which is more it to me read more like how you shoot music videos than
And
how
For me,
Like-
that's what I see of it. I see commentary on the fact that you are
This is-
training. This is what we want.
Yeah, they watch the music videos and they think this is what it is, and now we're showing it to you in a way that feels
That makes you
indicative of that.
uncomfortable,
Yeah,
yeah.
to make you think like that.
And it should make people uncomfortable because you know, and not that I want to make this like a whole spiel about the commodification of women's bodies, but it should make you feel bad that they are essentially commodifying a 11-year-old's body that way, but you don't feel bad that Tekashi 6ix9ine or Drake or
Any rapper.
any rapper is essentially treating a woman, a grown woman, in
Yeah.
the same way as something that is just a watch or a car. It's something that's in his video that shows how awesome he is, but we're okay with that. And this is a way of saying you shouldn't be okay with one if you're not okay with the other.
Which,
Well,
yeah,
and,
which
and
you
the,
shouldn't.
And
but
the objectification is something that is not clear necessarily to the girls because
Yeah.
they don't know how to operate under this. So she takes a picture of herself like that. Clearly, she doesn't know. She doesn't understand the consequences of what she's done. And, maybe she thinks that, like, this is disposable or something like that, or it won't be remembered, or she just doesn't get it the way that an adult would.
Sorry,
You know?
we just had a couple comments. I want to make sure we get to them.
Okay.
So Bryn is joining us on YouTube, and she makes a very interesting point, which I've made in some chats as well. How old are the Dance Mom kids? They would totally accept roles like that, and that's interesting one because yes, Dance Moms being a documentary, I don't think documentaries follow by the same rules as a fictional movie because it's like we're just recording you while you're doing the thing.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing.
She's just doing what she would be doing under normal
Yeah,
circumstances.
if you're in practice for 12 hours and we record you for 12 hours, that's 12 hours of filming and it doesn't count. So that's why I think the documentary would be more likely what we'd have. But how about the point that Dance Moms was on TV for 8 years and there were 8, 10, 12, 14-year-old girls
younger
doing
than that.
doing this stuff on Dance Moms and no one said anything. But the show is theoretically about Abby, the coach. But having seen a few of those episodes, being forced to watch that from somebody, I'm sure, I can tell you that the half the episode is the girls themselves dancing or the girls themselves being interviewed. It's not really about Abby. It's her relationship with the girls, and that inevitably involves the girls.
Yeah, but I mean, like, to your point of like objectification of women and stuff like that. Like, are you capable of going to the beach and having a conversation with a woman who's happening to wear a bikini?
Absolutely.
Because like, if you can separate yourself from, this woman's in some state of undress, I have to sexualize her,
Yeah.
to understanding that this is a context. We are in a place where this is appropriate. Like, you're not supposed to be looking at women and just going like mine, or
Well,
anything like that.
right.
Like,
See, but the problem here is I feel like we're making a lot of comments, a lot of very valid points, but we're still missing the fact that the people that are complaining about this, the people that are against this, are people that are solely looking at this as these are 11-year-old girls and you shouldn't do that with them. Now, I get the points that we're trying to make, but
No, but I mean, I think it's all one the same though, because we're saying you are putting blinders onto the society around you and trying to focus on this. I mentioned earlier the spaghetti straps on middle school girls. That started in middle school, where it's like girls can't wear spaghetti straps because they distract boys. No one looked at the boys and said, "Why are you staring at the girls?"
Why can't you control yourself?
Yeah, if you can't control yourself, I'm going to take you out of the classroom. Not I'm going to send the girl home or go
And-
make her put on a sweater.
And the lack of male control to me is more of the problem than the woman, and that's the whole thing here. That's the whole ball of wax, because again, nothing that they did during any dance portions of this movie were anything that you'd want to talk to the parents ahead of time and say, is it okay if we have your child in this movie and they're doing these things? But every single one of those conversations probably went with the actors where they said, this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
You are too young to understand the consequences of what you're doing. So we are going to walk a very delicate line here where you get to play as a character, somebody who is unaware, but we are going to tell you what you're doing so you know. Because that would be part of the conversation that happens as well. You can't.
Yeah, you just don't bring
You
the
don't-
girls and here,
I mean,
learn
there's a-
this dance.
There's a
and
script, so at some point there's a conversation that happens beforehand where you say, much the same as, as somebody said, are you comfortable doing a stunt in this movie?
Yeah.
Are you, we figured out how you can do it safe. Are you comfortable jumping from one motorcycle to the other? And it's just like, if you're not, we got a stunt double for that.
Yeah.
If any of these girls, during the audition process, were just like, are you okay dancing for a dance competition in these various ways?
Provocative way, yeah.
provocative.
And they said, no, I wouldn't be comfortable with. Well, then we'll find another actress.
Yeah,
to
it's
do
not
it.
going to be for you. But I mean, again, I think that the going back to the society and the way that we are looking at people, the lack of control. I again, the conversations I've been having with the Hausfraus of America on social media, I want to make the argument to them of like, if someone told you, no, you're not allowed to go to school. Boys go to school. You learn the home and only the home. And if you are any color other than white and any religion other than Christian, you don't get to advance in society. They would all be very upset. But I think the way that they're reacting to this movie is essentially the same. It's trying to enforce a gender role and a worldview that they don't even believe in, but they think for some reason still exists. And I don't understand it. That's where I can't make that leap.
I also think, just speaking to the point of if there was an American version of this movie,
Right.
The American version of this movie is with the
Probably,
hardcore Christians,
yeah.
the
Fundamentalist.
super strict Christians. And I do believe that there's a part of this story that works because it's Muslims, and there's sort of I can take a second wife aspect of this. At least
Mormons? How about fundamentalist
yeah,
Mormons?
I mean, that would work too in sense of that. But I mean, the idea being that by the end of the movie, when she's jumping rope, she's having a childlike moment.
Yeah.
But, it's also, she split between the difference between her in her provocative outfit and her in her, Muslim outfit.
Yeah.
And now she is somewhere in between. She's balancing between who she was, who she's going to be, all these sort of different parts. It's about finding yourself. Sometimes you do things that push too far.
Yeah, you
and
make
then
mistakes sometimes.
You realize you've made a mistake and I don't like this, or I don't want to do this anymore. And then,
but that goes back to the whole thing of we tell you, we want you to, everything that her family was doing. All right, you're a woman now. We need you to step up and take responsibilities. You're an adult. Be mature. You're gonna. The example they have is chopping onions and helping us get up early and prep food and stuff. And we want you to be an adult. No, not like that.
yeah.
And I mean, again, not to make it a societal commentary, but essentially that's what we do for everything. We want you to be more mature, but only in the ways that we tell you to be more mature. And if you try to do it a different way, well, then we're going to chastise you and we're going to put you. You're 17 years old. You can sign your life away to go die in Iraq for 4 years of risking your life in Iraq. But when you finish signing and you go back to class, you have to ask a grown man. A grown man at 18, had to ask another grown man if I could go pee. That does not and we have to come to some conclusion as a society to say, either we're going to say children should be children, and by the way, children should be allowed to be children. That is the whole thing. I agree that we should protect them more.
When the mother finds out, she gets really upset with her. She's beating her essentially.
Yes, yeah.
In the way that I think all of us
Well,
have kind of gotten beaten at some point or another. Yeah, the auntie.
The mom had
that's only
the auntie separated it though.
That's the only about the nude picture that she posted. But when she sees
and the
her,
stabbing the boy and stuff like that.
No, that's right. It was the stabbing the boy. It wasn't even the nude picture. It was the stabbing the boy. But when she sees her in the like, hey, you look exactly like every other girl in this building, she acts very calmly, and she's like, I get it. This is who you.
Well,
are
I mean,
be.
like, there's a like, so go back to the very beginning when we find out that the husband is taking a new wife, a second wife.
Right.
The child is very upset. The mother is upset at first, and then the second phone call, like when the call reconnects, and she's laughing and being like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, this is how I'm supposed to feel. I'm supposed to be okay with this because my husband, who is the one who decides everything, is choosing to take a new wife, and I just have to go along with it, and she doesn't comprehend like how like you could be abandoned at this moment. The child doesn't understand how you could be abandoned at this moment.
And reacts in a childlike way.
And at the end, mom probably sees her in the outfit and sort of says like,
well,
I know I had to push too.
Yep.
I know I had to try and do my own thing, and I wish I could be that. And, you're just doing that now. And
it's a phase.
I'm not going to, she's not going to beat her on that one because
What
she didn't stab a kid.
What you were saying earlier, a lot of the Hausfraus are seeing the poster. They're saying, cancel Netflix, cancel Cuties. We're not going to watch this thing. And again, I've been in a lot of conversations with people about just the poster.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna try and transition. I think we've made our points very clear, but I think we should talk about the fact that basically Netflix saw a surge in cancellations, a 30% surge in cancellations, which they haven't had in years. Literally the day after the movie came out.
We don't know if that's actual cancellation. So
that's what basically what I read was that there are sources out there who are doing the analytics on Facebook, right?
There's 30% of cancellations, but business projections are they'll be down about 9%.
Yeah,
in a quarter, which is the first time they'll be down ever.
Right, but I'm saying like when we get the end of the quarter is when we'll find out where the subscriber numbers went, stuff like that.
They had people who unsubscribed, but there's also people who are saying like, oh, they unsubscribed, but then they're gonna go like, oh, well, what am I gonna watch? Oh, I'm gonna resubscribe to Netflix.
Yeah, but the point that I'm trying to make is that there was definitely a point trying to be made by a lot of people out there.
Yeah, the
like
dumb Hausfraus. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the fact that a lot of people, I guarantee you, a lot of the people that either cancel or unsubscribe or whatever, or they're just trashing the whole thing, probably haven't seen it.
No, 100% they haven't.
Yeah, no, they probably saw the poster, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about is the fact that.
Well, and anybody who tells you, like, here's the other problem is I think there's dark pockets of the internet.
Yeah.
That have invaded Facebook like you've never believed.
Yeah.
Where they talk about pedophilia like it's around every single street corner.
Absolutely.
And while pedophilia is a problem, and while there are certainly pedophiles out there, and we should be doing more to stop it, this is not a movie about pedophilia or anything related to it. And if you are watching it and have a problem with it, then maybe the problem is you.
Yes. Yeah. I said I wanted to mention the social dilemma aspect of all of it. And
social dilemma.
You guys have seen Social Dilemma now.
Mm-hmm.
We watched it last night.
Yeah. If you guys at home haven't seen it, essentially, Social Dilemma is a series of interviews with some interspersed documentary film that just basically says your most basic human, your reward system in your brain that has advanced us from our ancestor long ago that realized there is better fruit on that tree. I need to go from this tree to that tree, and there'll be no competition there. The same drive is in your brain right now, and we haven't evolved that much in 800,000 years. And the social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, have decided or have figured out how to tap into that reward system and are doing the very same thing. And because they are going to your most primal instincts, it is so hard to defeat. And the funny thing is, a lot of the guys and girls who were on it were saying, would answer the question, will you let your children be on social media? With a no, because I developed this thing. I know how it works, and I can't put it down. I would never let my kids do it.
Not only that, but I mean, like, so I feel like there's a part of this where it is, we are all striving to do this, like, to be the most beautiful, to be the best at whatever, right? I recorded the song, the John Mayer song, right? I have not been practicing my singing on a regular basis, so I was not singing at my best, and I hear myself, and I'm instantly comparing myself to John Mayer, who is not only a practiced singer, but a very good one at that.
Yes.
So when I hear the differences between me and him,
he also has a producer whose only job is making John Mayer sound good.
Yeah, and somebody who has spent many years learning what they're doing. I like to be a part of these.
I'm not a good producer?
No, I was talking more about myself, because
I mean,
it goes
Rob's
into
learning.
mastering. Yeah.
Rob's learning. So I mean, he needs to have a certain number of, like, us fucking around projects before he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
There's no point in saying,
before
like,
all
hey,
of a sudden
Takashi,
we sound just like Michael Bublé.
Hey, Takashi, I'll be your producer. Come to my
that ain't gonna help your projects, I don't think.
The thing is, though, that there's just within all of us, there's these things where I don't rate to this other person, and social media more than anything else has pushed this on people. And if you don't think that 11-year-old girls who are just on the verge of being able to become women in some sort of way, whether that's physical or whether it's
mental,
or any other way, like there's a point when you're right about to become an adult or become grown in some sort of way, and you just want it to happen, and you're thriving for this moment. And I'm sure there's a lot of girls out there who are 11 years old and wearing more adult clothes because it makes them feel like they're more adult now, like they should be taken more seriously. But to them, adult doesn't necessarily mean, like, you know, a pantsuit. It means I get to wear something that a 20-year-old would wear.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Well, I think it's multifaceted, though. So I brought up a social dilemma for 3 reasons, really. One, that these girls in the movie, and I would assume girls in real life, are driven by social media. But also that, one, the cover that was chosen by Netflix, I guarantee you, was seen by no less than 1,000 people, all of whom approved it. It was run through who knows how many test groups, and that was the one that triggered in a good way the best response. And so that's the one that they went with.
It's the one that's most likely to make you click. That's the whole ball of wax right there.
But what they didn't do is to run it in conjunction with the third point, which is half of us are in a echo chamber in Facebook and Twitter that is feeding us these stories about there are pedophiles literally next door. They are circling your neighborhood in white vans, just waiting to grab your children and throw them in the back and take them away from you, and you'll never see them again, and traffic them across the entire world. Which
taken.
Well, no, because that wasn't.
I know.
That was a grown woman. But
I don't know who you are.
The whole thing is that, like, yes, there are pedophiles in the world. That is a thing. Yes, there is sex trafficking and human trafficking. These are all real things. But generally speaking, it has never been safer, especially to be an American, and especially to live in the suburbs, and especially to be, honestly, most of the people I'm seeing, white. To be a white person who lives in the suburbs has never been safer, but they're in this echo chamber where they feel like it's happening everywhere and all the time, because the things you're interacting with are the reward system on social media is just feeding you more of that stuff.
I think it would be interesting.
So I really, sorry, to that point, I do think that there's something really interesting there, because much the same as the kids get sucked into this world of I need to be older, I need to dance like this, I need to be more sexualized, I need to do whatever. A similar type of thing is happening to adults on social media who are taking in just news that they aren't checking or fact checking or looking into at all and saying, oh my God, there's pedophiles everywhere. And if you're under the impression that around every corner is a pedophile ready to take your kid, like,
who's waiting for a movie like this just to sit at home and work themselves up to come grab your kid on the street.
Well, I mean, like you remember when gang violence was a real big deal and everyone was talking about the Bloods and the Crips, and in reality, there was maybe a dozen Bloods or Crips in any given town. You know, like
South Central LA, real problem.
Upwards of 50 people in like
Denton, Maryland,
Yeah.
not a problem. Even though my parents were super worried about it.
But I'm saying like the how much you would hear about it, it would make you think that literally 1 out of every 10 people were a member of Bloods or Crips for a while.
Yes.
Like it was so rampant. It was everywhere. And the rappers are starting to wear their red and their blue to associate with the, like, yes, there was like a street lifestyle thing going on there, but I mean, like, it was like, this is not as big of a problem as you fucking think.
There were kids in my high school that were gang affiliated.
Yeah.
They were Crips and they were Bloods and they wore red and blue and had nothing to do with the national gangs. It was it was as if we had the Orioles and the Nationals. It's just we're picking two teams and we're tough and we're going to fight each other. These groups were always going to fight each other. They just picked two teams to be on the opposite sides.
Right.
But so I wanted to read this as an example. I'm not going to say who it was, but I am going to paraphrase a conversation I had with a Hausfrau who described why she wasn't going to watch the movie. The poster itself, this is her describing the poster. It encourages sex at a young age, and pedophiles get off on shit like that. That poster that promoted the show was disgusting. The girls were posed in overly provocative ways, squatting, blah, 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 describing the poster. I'm sure that the peds will use that to whack off to. It looked like the front of a porn mag. Now, I don't believe that the poster for Cuties looks like the front of a porn mag. And during the course of then what turned out to be a 2-hour-long interrogation, I'll say interrogation. I was asking questions and trying to elicit a response from her. I realized that she did not realize that it was about a dance competition. She said, sorry, let me find it. Doubtful. I have watched dance competitions. I have done hip hop, modern, jazz, etc. And not one of the dances I learned had me on all fours with my ass in the air. And then she sent me a link after a long pause to a story that is captioned, "The worst scene in Cuties. I'm disgusted. #cancel Netflix." I do know. It's right there in your face. And then I basically responded to her by saying, you literally just looked up that story and read it. You have no idea
what was
it is.
the worst scene that they
It
specified?
was the dance scene.
It's the dance scene at the end.
Yeah, well,
Which is arguably, yes, the most provocative scene is the one of them dancing.
but it's also showing the audience not reacting well to it.
Yes.
I mean, like, that's, to me, like,
I guarantee you the video, though, that's in that story does not have the parents not reacting.
yeah.
It's just literally
it's just a
the
clip
scene.
of them just awkwardly sexually dancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then what I said is, I just want to read this because you guys know I'm consistent in all aspects of my life. The story you just looked up, it takes the scenes out of context to rile up the Hausfraus who don't educate themselves on the subject matter. Again, you've lost the right to an opinion on this. Go look into dance cheer competitions, look at non-Mignonnes scenes and videos. After a while, you can come back and we can discuss. And then she just blew up and said, you pissed me off. Anyone who has different opinions that are different than you think are wrong and lost the right to opinions. You're not always right. So that is true. Well, I won't concede that I'm not always right. I generally am right. But I will say that I do jump to, if you're wrong, you've lost your right to an opinion. That's often because I require, and I'm surrounded by people who educate themselves and then make strong opinions, which may or may not be concisive with my own. So Corey may think that that dibs requires you to know exactly the thing that is being called dibs.
You don't want to get into this one. I will. I was passionately angry at Roberto earlier.
But because you can put on a strong defense for your position, and it's not based on the fact of like, this is what I believe and you need to accept it. No, it's like, here are the rules by which I live my life, and this is what we're going to do. That's different than what all of the Hausfraus and how they are responding to this, because essentially they are saying, I saw the poster, it made me uncomfortable, we need to cancel Netflix.
I just wonder if any, there's a part of seeing the poster, the foreign poster for Cuties and the Netflix poster, where I almost think back to Entourage and Billy Walsh, like seeing the changed up Queens Boulevard poster where it's all like popified and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you bastards fucking ruined my movie. Like, there's a part of this where I feel like, like the director probably saw this and was just like, what the fuck? Like,
She did. No, she literally said,
it probably actually helped. No lie, the controversy over the poster is almost like risen to the level where people feel like they either need to see this or tweet about it. And if they're talking about it in any way, shape, or form, it's sort of helpful for the movie.
What was
So-
that movie that we watched that the production company dropped out at the last minute and they had to like push the opening? The one about them hunting.
The Hunt.
The Hunt.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
Where that's exactly what happened. Like probably would have opened it to like $10 million. They push it 6 weeks and then it opens to $100 million because
Yeah.
everybody's talking about it. But I mean, in this case though, my concern is the people who won't see it will continue to say it's child pornography when it's the entire message of the movie is the exact opposite of that. It's a commentary on how we are sexualizing kids.
It's
And-
like in
I
a
think-
different way. It's like when the Christian right was boycotting Dogma, the Kevin
Right.
Smith movie. It's like, number one, this is a comedy, so like a lot of these things are just in the purpose of a joke.
Yeah.
Number two, I think this movie speaks more to one's self of spirituality more than almost any other I've seen. Like I feel like
God
I
is
thought-
real in that movie. God
I
comes
thought-
down.
I thought more about what Catholicism meant to me after that movie than I would probably after like Passion of the Christ or something like
Yeah.
that. And people just wanted to be like. Sometimes people just want to be angry about shit, and
That's true.
they just get caught up in this like echo chamber of like, you shouldn't watch this movie. Here's all the worst stuff about it. Like,
I think also the fact that the movie for me felt a lot of like a commentary about social media as well, because we
Yeah.
see we got all the scenes where she's looking at the videos of the other dance crews, and she's looking at videos of like rappers or whatever where they're like focusing on certain regions, whatever. But I feel like a lot of people who won't watch the movie and won't really get the point of what the commentary that they're trying to make, they don't realize that, okay, like if you watch it and you see where all these ideas are coming from, where this over sexualization, what they're getting their inspiration from, so to speak. And that's the problem here, that you're not aware of where the actual problem. It's not about the dance competition. It's about what they, as little kids who, as we mentioned before, like they don't really know or understand what they're doing or what the proper thing to do is. They're just reacting to what they're seeing and what they're living.
I think though you're giving people reasons not to watch it though. Because
No. On the contrary,
wait. Because what you're saying is this is going to make you ask questions about yourself. And this Hausfrau that I was talking to and other Hausfraus that I've talked to absolutely refuse to do that. My worldview is 100% correct. Nothing will ever change that. If you disagree with it, you're wrong. And if you offer me evidence, actual physical, factual evidence that is to the contrary, then I will refuse to believe it and push you off.
See, okay, but here's another thing. So there seems to be a lot about the rules of what men and women are traditionally allowed to get away with here too, because I feel like if I had a daughter or something like that, and she was 11,
God help us all.
and she wanted to dance like this, I would have to have a conversation with her first, going like, "A, be careful where you post said dances, because there are people who will take this out of context."
but you would let her dance.
If she wanted to dance in her own room and like do that thing, then that's fine, If I sat down and explained to her how, like she is doing something that is based off of sexual innuendo, and like she understood this and understood why it could be problematic if she did it in front of people, like if she was at a dance competition, like why she wouldn't necessarily understand like how people are reacting to it. Like it's all about the conversation you have to have with kids to explain to them at times when it's appropriate why these things are the way they are.
I feel like a lot of people either don't want to have that conversation or they don't know how to have that conversation.
Oh, 100% they don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's clear. But I'm saying like this is no different to me in my mind than people who are just like, to a full grown woman, like, oh, you can't leave the house dressed like that. It's just like, well, no, I'm an adult. I can dress any way I want.
Yes.
You can't tell me otherwise.
Something might happen to you. That's a society problem. Why
Yeah,
aren't
that's
we
not a
looking
me
at that?
problem.
Yes,
That-
let's
Yeah.
fix that part of it.
But like,
And we
like
fix that,
as-
by the way, by getting the boys when they're younger and saying, "Hey, stop being distracted by the little girl. Focus on what you're doing.
But I mean, like, as a man, if I go out wearing yoga pants and a tank top, like,
Ugh.
it's not my problem. You know, like, nobody's. Yeah, somebody might
It's
have
everybody's
that reaction.
problem.
Somebody might have that reaction, but I'm saying, like, nobody's saying, like, you know, like, cover it up, kids are looking, or anything like that.
While you were
And I mean, like, in a similar regard with kids, like, they're just more. They don't know anything. Their experience is based off of what you're able to fill in. Because you see something, you don't get it. Like, why is that dog lifting its leg? Oh, you've never seen that before. It's going to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
But when I go to the bathroom, I do this. And it's like, no. It's different for different things. Now you know this. You know? Like,
maybe after a couple of times, because I'm pretty sure Max would try to lift his leg a few times before he gets it.
But you would see where that kid would get that
Yeah.
from. Like, you'd be like, oh, okay, he saw the dog. Now he's rationalizing that he has to do it like that because that's how dogs do it.
I'm also a boy.
We have to teach him that
Yeah.
this is different in some sort of way. You know?
I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about social dilemma, I was gonna say I think it'd be kind of interesting to look up the Facebook groups because there are Facebook groups out there already about how Cuties is the worst thing that's ever happened. But I was gonna say I think it would be interesting to go in and look at the conversations and look at what people are saying, but at the same time, once you go in, you start, somewhere out there's going to be stored somewhere like, oh, this person right here, Roberto, kind of has an interest for groups like this, and all of a sudden I'm going to start seeing all sorts of.
One of the things, the reasons that I avoid the echo chamber is because I follow and I go into groups like that. I follow all sorts of stuff. So Facebook suggests to me, my Facebook timeline is the most asymmetrical timeline you will ever see. It's like, here's this guns, pizza, and tits group we think you'd like, and I'm like, all right, that's weird. And then it's like a super leftists against super leftists against circumcision. I have been suggested both of those groups in the last week, and that is completely incongruous with each other. These are different groups of people, but it keeps you out of the echo chamber of only hearing one side of the story. Same thing on Twitter. Instagram's a little different though. It's a lot of strippers. I don't know why that might be. But
what were you gonna say?
While you were talking, it reminded me of. So I was going to use the example of Kids. Have you guys seen Kids?
Yeah, a long time ago. But
So-
Kids was the worst movie than this.
Yes.
Like,
And I was going to say, Kids is a way worse movie than this. And the kids are around the same age, 12 and 13 years old. And they're having sex, and AIDS is involved. It's like a whole thing. But a more modern take, we talked about Good Boys, which I think is also in the same vein, although kind of nonsensical because it's.
I mean, the problem there is obviously it's a comedy.
Yeah.
But I
So-
mean, like, 11-year-old boys were watching Good Boys, like, ha ha ha, this is the most hilarious thing ever. And
Yeah.
I would argue that was more
damaging to an 11-year-old.
problematic. I would have to explain a lot more about Good Boys than I would have to explain about Cuties, I think.
While you were talking, though, it reminded me of the Jonah Hill directed movie from 2018, mid-90s, which I don't know. That movie resonated with me so strongly because it was a 14-year-old kid in 95, which is right about the right time to be basically me. And he learns to skate so that he can make friends, which is basically Corey. But that whole story, I don't remember any controversy about that movie at all. That is essentially this. It's a kid who's like, well, I know nothing about sex, but I'm going to try to have sex with this girl because all my friends are saying that's what I'm supposed to do. Now, there was no social media because it was 1995, but it's the social media of your network of friends and the pressure that your friends put on you. And I don't know anything about sex, but I know that I'm going to go in the closet with this girl. And there's a scene in there where they do 7 minutes in heaven, and he goes in with the girl, and she's like, what are we supposed to do? And he's like, I don't know. I thought you would know what we're supposed to do in here. And she's like, I'm going to take my bra off and give it to you. That way you have it. And like,
Yeah, that's happened in a lot of movies,
Yeah.
though, where kids go into, like, a 7 minutes in heaven situation, and they're just like, what happens now?
and that's I think, like, the fun, like, in mid-90s is a comedy. It's more like a dramedy, I guess. It's not like Good Boys, which is clearly meant to be super bad for a new generation. It's like a funny comedy. But the
Super bad for younger kids.
yeah, essentially. Well, and I would argue, though, that it's not super bad for younger kids. It's super bad, the same movie, except for the kids doing those antics have gotten younger. We think of it as a 15, 16, 17-year-old thing to have those antics. Kids today are like, no, 11 to 13. That's where we're pulling the.
Oh, yeah. like I'm just thinking about it in terms of like actual porn or something like that.
Yeah.
Like when did I see that for the first time?
Oh, I was really one of the older kids in the neighborhood showed me a porn.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like, I was probably like, 16 when I stumbled onto a magazine for the first time or something like that.
And we had
But
to
I'm
work
saying,
so
like-
hard for it too.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying like right now, like, if a kid, you might say to yourself like, oh, my 8-year-old doesn't know better, but he could find it. Like there's no way that, like it's easily accessible out there nowadays.
If you tell a kid about the movie Tron and he misspells it prawn, he is 100% going to get a porn website
Oh,
that
yeah,
pops
yeah.
up after that. And he's like, what did he say it was? Prawn? Okay, prawn.
Or if you don't even have safe search on Google or something like that.
Yeah.
You're typing in some name you were.
I took like a 4-mile walk back in the woods.
Who's this Lindsay Lohan person I hear? Oh my God.
Yeah. I took like a 4-mile walk back in the woods to a real sketchy fort to see a porn mag that I didn't even really want to see, but that they were like, we got this cool thing, let's go. Hey, somebody found a 1978 Playboy in their dad's garage or something like that.
Hey.
Yeah. But so like I know that we imagine it for as like older, but we have to come to the realization, and our parents, I think, still have not come to that realization that things change over time, and we get more liberal societies, and then we get to the point where, all right, so everybody's aware like 69 Summer of Love and the early 70s were a very loose society. But after that, we got the 80s, which was the exact opposite. It's like, close everything down. We're going to get super conservative.
Yuppies and
The yuppies and the me generation. And so from 1982 onward, we start getting more and more liberal. And we've reached a point now where American society is essentially getting into that mid-60s vibe, burning a lot of stuff, a lot of civil rights marches. Thought we were done with that part of it. But eventually we'll get, and AIDS was really scary in the 90s as well. But, it's not a death sentence anymore. We know how to fight it, condom usage, etc. So there is the idea that eventually we are going to get back to that 70s Summer of Love stuff. And the kids who come after that will be like, my parents are putting white stones out in front of the house because that's a sign that when you come in for the party, you drop your keys in the bowl, and whatever keys the woman takes is the car you get in.
Talk to kids who were kids of parents in the Summer of Love.
Yeah, and do you know who those kids were? They were the 80s kids who were like, shut this down. We are super conservative. So eventually we'll cycle back to being conservative, and then we'll liberalize more and more and more. And it's really hard for my parents to be like, the kids these days. And then we are looking at these 11-year-olds and be like, kids these days.
But then you also think about like even the 80s when it was more conservative, like you still had people like Madonna who were like, drastically pushing these boundaries that like people are just like, she's fucking naked on the street. Like,
well,
yeah, but
and in the 50s when everything was super conservative, you had Elvis Presley,
shaking his hips,
so it always is generational. So when things are conservative, liberals come out. But by the same token, in the Summer of Love, the 69 was the same year that that Green Beret song was written about, like, God, it's in every patriotic commercial. You'll hear this song. Lee Greenwood song.
Proud to be American.
Proud to be an American was 1969 as well. So it's like there are always two halves of it, where it's like, yeah, Madonna was pushing boundaries against conservatism, and then Lee Greenwood was pulling back against liberalism and trying to get everybody to wrap things up again. So there's always that, and no matter what, every generation thinks the one that came after them is pushing
the wildest bunch.
You're so wild. And then there will eventually be one that's like, come on, kids, why are you being so square? And it's like, because there's a strange woman in my house every Saturday morning, and I don't like it. I want one woman my whole life. That's it. I'm gonna marry her.
I
right
want
out of high school.
mommy. I just want mommy.
Anyway, but so we cycle through. So I mean, not that this is part of that. We also have no idea what, again, social media is going to do about this cycle of. We didn't have that. It was literally just everyone around you seemed like music changes, and
it's just it's so different every generation. So it's hard to make direct comparisons.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I really don't. This movie is not. So if I saw somebody saying like, like Cuties is child porn, I'm just like,
No.
It is not. It's not. Like, if you can't. There was a club, Extremes or something like that, when I was in Towson. It was an underage club.
yeah, no. It's an under 21 club.
It was an under 21 club, but they were letting kids who were like 14 or 15 in it.
Okay, so
You could only buy like Cokes and stuff like that there.
Yeah.
But it was like a dance club for kids.
I was gonna say, did you ever go to Ocean City and go to Club H2O?
No, but I know of it. Yeah.
Okay, so there were 2 clubs across the street from each other, and it was always the big summer was the one where you went from Club H2O, which was 21 and under, and they would let in 13, 12-year-olds, all the way up to 21. 21-year-olds couldn't go
and like
in.
secrets, right?
Yeah, no, and then right across the street was. I never went in it, so I don't even know what it is because I bailed out of that lifestyle before that. But then it was like the one across the street was owned by the same people, similarly themed, but it served alcohol and it was 21 and over.
Right.
And if you were 23, you couldn't go into H2O. You could only go into the other one. And it was a big deal. So is that just a Maryland thing?
I don't know. I think there were
clubs?
underage clubs elsewhere, but I mean, like,
There's
I just think
clubs. There's clubs that had, like in Arizona, there were clubs that had under 21 nights.
And you got like the X on it. I just think underage is weird because it makes it sound like they let in underage people. This was four
kids
under 21 clubs.
Well, yeah, it was like, like
Dance
there's a
Bill
lot of high
Barney
school
song.
kids who would like to go and have like a club-like experience, but they can't go to the club.
Right.
So how do you give them the
but then how
experience
is
of
it
being at
not-
the club without like
You charge them $9 for a Coke.
See, but
and
yeah,
$20 fee at the door.
$20 for cover.
How is this not kind of the same thing? Like we're offering little kids the experience of a grown-up so that they can feel more like grown-ups.
And that's exactly the thing. Like I remember going to H2O when I was 14. I was a freshman in high school, and there were girls dancing just like these girls in Cuties are dancing, grinding up on people, on me, thank God. And I was way more attractive when I was that old.
You were also age appropriate at that time.
Yeah, and I mean I was 14, so a 14-year-old girl dancing with me is age appropriate. That's my point. But my overall arching point here is that it's not something new, but because social media is feeding these stories into a cycle, people are forgetting this Hausfrau, by the way, was a 14-year-old girl grinding on me at a school dance.
Well,
she forgets that at 14 she was grinding on me at a school dance.
We also, I think people also like as they get older, they start thinking about like these kids are getting wilder, younger. But
Yeah.
like
You're getting conservative. It's
when
not
was
them.
like something I was thinking about throughout this is like, like I feel like I had my first sexualized ideals really young.
Oh, yeah.
Like I didn't know what sex was. I didn't know how it worked, but like I knew that like kissing was involved somehow.
Yeah, when we're
like,
grinding,
there was,
I
like-
didn't know that this was sex related. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I see it on a movie, and I'm like, all right, you're gonna bend over in front of me, and I'm gonna.
I like
get
this
behind
is this
you.
is enjoyable. I don't know why I enjoy it, but
I
something
like the
about it.
contact of a woman. That's
Yeah.
very or a girl. That's very nice. But I didn't realize until like you're 17, and you're like, oh, this is like grinding.
Oh, that's why it happened.
That's why you. All right.
Did before we end here, is there
Yeah.
any other comments from the chat that we needed to?
No, unfortunately, we've gone so long now that I think everyone has
Bailed
had
out.
to
on
go
us.
do some stuff. But Flash did comment again, talking about the sexualization of children. Of children, 14-year-old, her 14-year-old has a project where they pretend they're pregnant, and they have they learned about birth control? No. And this was another argument that was made by the Hausfrau in my conversation. Was like, they don't even do abstinence-only education in schools anymore. And I was like, yeah, but that's because studies show abstinence only doesn't work. Like you teach abstinence as the only thing that's 100% certain is abstinence. Now, if you choose to have sex, which you may choose to do, here are ways to do it safely. And she also was very upset about my point about masks and COVID being the same way. I'm like, the only thing that's 100% certain is for you to lock yourself in your apartment and never leave and never have contact with anybody. That was 100% certain you won't get it. But much like a condom, a mask is a barrier that when we go out and risk
That provides 99% under best case scenario.
on the best case scenarios, it'll protect you, and we hope for the best. But much like the example I've used recently in conversations that we've had, when you go out and you have risky behavior, you have to worry about not only those people, but the people that those people have been with, and the people that those people have been with. Because COVID's a lot like an STD, only spread orally. Some STDs.
Aerosol.
Yeah, droplet,
Yeah.
and through the air. But just this idea that we're going to teach I think what Flash is saying here is that her 14-year-old has a project where it's like, all right, we're going to match you up in pairs. Now, I think she's still in Massachusetts, which means I'm guarantee you they get to pick partners. So it's like, hey, boy, girl, boy, girl, 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 boy, boy. Hey, one of you guys is going to be pregnant. Let's just pretend that we're able to do that. But they're liberal enough to say it doesn't have to be heterosexual pairs always. But she's has a project where she's pregnant, but they don't learn about birth control. And maybe that's because I'm trying to jump into Flash.
Maybe they're trying to give them the torture of it first, and then just being like, "Hey, you don't like that?
Sucks.
Birth control's
yes, birth control's the answer. Let's teach you about birth control." But it's just that we're sexualizing kids, but we don't give them the tools to do it safely. So again, kind of what you were saying.
We shouldn't have to give them tools at all.
What do you mean?
I'm saying we shouldn't have to get to a point where it's like, oh, well, we're already over sexualizing them. Let's just give them the tools. You know what I'm saying?
But
I think you're reading tools as the means to have sex.
I
we're
know.
talking about tools and the means of telling them what safe sex is or what sex is.
And protecting themselves. I mean, and more generally, not just sex itself, but like, listen, when we watch, ABC on a Saturday night or what's a better, because Saturday night's actually a dead night on TV, like a Tuesday night, you're going to see at 8 p.m. a show where there's going to be a woman who may be scantily clad, having
a hooker,
playing a hooker, right? I want to, at 10 or 12, I have to have an uncomfortable conversation with my children about how this is what that is. And yes, you see sex on TV, you see sex in movies, but what we're doing is we either have to say as a society, we're going to go the route of, the caliphate countries and say, no alcohol, no sex, nothing on TV that promotes sex. We're going to shut this whole thing down. Or we have to say the other way. We have to have uncomfortable conversations with our kids and say, hey, this is a thing you might see out there, but this is the context for the thing that you see out there. And I don't know if one or the other is the better way. I mean, I would lean towards the other. But
yeah.
The tools, meaning I'm going to give you context for the things. You may go and have sex. I am going to encourage you greatly to wait. And I know that 15-year-old boy or girl seems like they are the whole world. But maybe I'll relate to you the fact that the person I dated when I was 15, we fell out 2 months later. And then there was someone else for 2 months and someone else for 2 months. But it feels like a lot.
And even when I was like, 25,
engaged for 3 years.
25, and I was like, oh, now I know. I'm never gonna fucking. This is love. Like,
Didn't know. So giving them the tools and just saying, if you choose to do it anyway, here's how you can be safe about it. And when you see someone on a music video, they're focusing just on the ass of some girl, you can look at your daughter and say, listen, all bodies are different, and this person likes this particular look, but there are people out there who will like you exactly as you are.
Yeah.
More importantly, you are more than that. She is more than that, and you are more than that. And you can be just as big of a part of society if you cure cancer as you are being Miss America. And you know what? If you don't do any of that, if you're just you and
that's fine too.
You have a fine life and you love me until I'm gone and I'll love you until you're gone, that is absolutely fine too. And building a stronger society by saying we don't have to all be that. By the way, we also don't have to cure cancer. Not you, Maxine. If you're seeing this in the future, you absolutely need to cure cancer. You're too smart to waste all that. But giving them tools to function and hopefully making them not be so reactionary that my daughter sees a poster for a movie and says, no, absolutely not. I'll never watch it. I'm hoping the next generation will look at stuff like this and say, all right, I'm going to try
Let me examine this a little bit.
There's something about this, but I'm going to watch it and see what it's about.
Think critically.
Yeah.
And that, again, I just made myself think of that. But that's the problem, is that too many people in, especially our generation, don't think critically. They see that, they react, and now I'm done with this thought process. I'm on to the next thing. This is bad. This makes me feel weird. It's bad. I'm on to the next thing. And I'm hoping that as people have watched this, as maybe they find it later, that they will, as we have tried to do, critically think about it. Let's actually watch it and see what it is and not just react emotionally and then break it down into what its substantive parts are and try to move forward from there.
Real quick, just so that we can wrap it up.
That's exactly what I was trying to do. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, did your perception of the movie for each one of us. Your perception from before you watched it to after you were done watching it. Did it change or shift in any way?
Yeah, I wish there was no controversy, and I hadn't seen all the controversy about it. Because I think what Corey said earlier was apt, that I was kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire time. I'm like, there has to be something else here that I'm not seeing, and I don't think I got to enjoy it as much as I would have, because I was almost over critically thinking it. I'm like,
if I literally just walked into a theater at the Sundance Film Festival and saw this, I would walk out. I don't know if I'd say like, oh, this is a fantastic movie, everyone has to see it.
Yeah.
I probably, like I enjoyed this movie greatly, but I don't know if it's like, a movie of the year or anything like that. But like, if somebody said, what did you think? I'd say it was good. You should see it. I wouldn't have even thought to mention anything about like, oh, you gotta be careful if you're hypersexual around little girl. Like I wouldn't even think about it. But watching it under the pretense that there is some sort of controversy involved makes me think that like, okay, I'm watching this and it doesn't seem so bad right now. Is there something coming around the corner that makes me like, this is all of a sudden like,
that all of a sudden it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
what? And you know why it's on
and much like the scene, like we talked about, she zipped down the shirt. Like I was like,
oh God,
is this what this movie was all?
No, and if you saw it raw, that you would still have a moment there where she does that, and you're like, oh baby, no,
Yeah.
but it's not the same context in your head of like, here it is, here's the thing,
Yeah,
this is what they're talking
here's
about.
the problem. Here's what
Like we've been defending this movie for a week, and now, oh crap, here it comes. But the reason it's on Netflix is because if I walked into Sundance as a buyer for Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max or any of those people, I'd have walked out and said, this is a 4-corner movie. We need to buy this.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say,
Or 4-quadrant movie, not 4-square movie.
yeah,
4-quadrant.
I wouldn't say that either. But like, cause I don't think like the elderly would enjoy this movie as much.
Four Corners is 25 and younger of both genders. 25 and younger, 25 and older of both genders. Does it appeal to any part of those demographics?
Yeah.
And I think it appeals to both men and women, both 25 and over and 25 and under. And for like Netflix or HBO Max, where you're like, we just need something that appeals to a wide variety.
Okay, so I mean, like it's one of the. I think that anyone who can watch a movie, a drama artistically, would be fine watching this movie. Like I don't think that.
Yeah. And I honestly would walk out of this and say the marketing for this is going to be great. It's about a coming of age story about a girl who is caught between two worlds.
Yeah.
She has a very fundamentalist,
Two very clashing worlds.
Yeah, very fundamentalist world at home and a very liberal world that she's kind of living in, and she has to try to make peace between the two. That's not. I mean, and honestly, I think the marketing did that.
I mean, if I were to, in my mind, if I were to redesign the poster or something like that, I would think about it just in terms of maybe like a split between like half of her in her traditional Muslim garb and half of her in
that dance costume.
And maybe you do like a cowboy shot or something like that of it.
Yeah.
To show, like a direct line between like a midriff a little bit. Yeah. But I don't. I think the way they did it is designed to get more eyes than what I did. Like I don't know how many more people click on that image than they would the 4 girls in a clearly dancing, suggestive.
The fact that you thought of it makes me sure that it would get less clicks. Because if you thought of it, that meant somebody at Netflix did.
Yeah.
And it was in the documents, and they tested it, and they said, okay, we tested it against this split one, and this one did better, so this is one we're going to go with.
Yeah.
And everyone assumes insidious intent. It almost never is. It's always just like, no, we tested 4,000. This is the one that got the most clicks. This is what we're going to put out.
Yeah, because nobody in Netflix is just going like, oh man, this will get us in a lot of trouble. Like
Will, the secret perv, who's like, I got to send a message out to all my fellow pedophiles out there.
Yeah, if you want to
put this cover on it.
If you want to talk about secret perv shit, go on and watch any of these old Disney movies. Like,
Yeah,
more secret perv shit going on in that.
Wait, are you telling me there's something pervy about walking up to a girl who is unconscious in the woods and then just kissing her because she is there?
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, That more lines have been crossed in Snow White than have been.
Then we're crossing Cuties.
Yeah.
Yes, that is 100% true. So thank you guys for joining us for our talk about this. If you enjoyed it, let us know. Leave a comment wherever you are. Leave a like. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. It's O The Anthem on Twitter, O The Anthem on Twitch, O The Anthem on Facebook, and on YouTube. We do a weekly podcast every single week. We record generally Mondays, and the episode will be out on Tuesdays. We talk about news and politics and sports and whatever's going on in the world, basically the top stories. So if you like our banter here, you're going to like our banter on that show. So make sure you join us for any of those. If you especially like this, let us know. You can send an email to Corey@otheanthem.com. You can always reach out to us at otheanthem.com, just the website. You'll find more information there as well. But we're happy to do more of these kind of talks about movies, and we'll figure out what movie we might want to do now that we've kind of worked out the electronics of it all.
Yeah.
It'll get bigger and better from here.
Bigger
so.
and better
yeah.
from here. But of course, the O The Anthem podcast every week, you're just going to unfortunately have to deal with Corey and I. Roberto is generally, that's his Red Dead Redemption time. But where can people find your streaming of Red Dead Redemption and everything else?
Well, all my social medias are the same, thanks to someone who. Yes, you're welcome. They can find me on all my social medias are at RTOAZN. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Pretty
Twitch?
much. Yeah, Twitch, TikTok, all those. And yeah, sometimes I'm part of the podcast too. If we're doing like a special episode, the guys will bring me in, or if they just need Mexican eyes to look, just like all of a sudden you get like 10 people watching, and that's my entire family back in Mexico. So
He's our diversity hire.
yeah.
We're gonna need that. But yeah, and of course you can find more of me at Robert Enchik on all social networks. Make sure you check out robertenchik.com for more of my stuff individually.
CoreyBakerFilmmaker.com, Facebook.com/Corey Baker Film, and @LegendsCP5 on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for as long as that's allowed to be allowed.
Yeah, until Sunday at least.
until
I guess we'll see.
Well, we'll still be able to use it. We just won't be able to update it
Right,
ever.
yeah.
So.
The problem is Monday I'm gonna come up with like a fucking great TikTok.
Yeah, and then everybody will
Just
stop
be like,
using
why aren't we here?
it. All right, guys. So yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll be around next time, but make sure you subscribe to the channel for new videos. Have a great afternoon.
Peace.